And you can't even drive? I can. Are you stupid, eh? Are you a stupid fool? Well, why can't you drive then? You can't even drive! Bit grey today, isn't it?
Well, welcome everyone to another edition of The Deepest Law. I'm here. How are you doing this week, Mr. D?
A wizard is never early, nor is he late. He arrives just when he means to. I'm good.
You know, it strikes me that something happened after I finished my book that the month of February kind of threw off my schedule in major ways, all over the place. So the month of March, D, is going to be when I put this show back on the road properly. Deepest Law, Cigar Stream, the whole lot. We're going to get back to my January plans. And this stream is going to be the start of it. How do you feel about that?
Make AA great again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, okay. Now, when we're not quite sure what to do on this show, we go into D has got like, you know, in Mary Poppins, how Mary Poppins has that bag and she can just pull out like endless things from that bag. You have a folder of public films that is a bit like that. Because we I don't know, probably about 2 years ago at this point, we had like one of these shows where we watch public films, and we've literally just been living off the fumes of that for ages at this point. We never run out of them, do we?
No, I mean I have literally like a 2 terabyte hard drive full of public domain ephemeral, what they call ephemeral films. You know, because I'm a big fanatic. I love you know, the kind of cultural and you know, sociological mores that are evident in times past, and I'm quite a big 1950s, you know, admirer. So yeah, I've got tons of it. And the thing is, of course, it makes very entertaining content, and it's very easy. So,
yeah, but I also feel that this kind of in situ analysis that we do, we stumble upon things that we'd never otherwise think about or talk about. That's why I feel like I feel like some of these streams have been actually quite thought provoking in places. You know, especially some of those.
They all have, yeah.
Especially some of those ones where we're looking at like the messaging that they were giving the American public after the Second World War, where you can clearly see like global homo talking points like 1951 and things like that.
And it's funny because going back and rewatching these, you know, since thinking about things in a slightly different way, you know, I mean, partially courtesy of your, you know, your intellectual example. I've actually seen things in these films that I didn't see before. You know, I'm thinking about them in a very different way as well, because you see it, you know, in it. Like most of them, you know, you see the seeds of all of the things that we've come to hate. You see the kind of beginning of this kind, you know, this sort of mass messaging and this kind of priming, and it's quite terrifying in a way.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that struck me when I was writing and researching Prophets of Doom D was Arnold Toynbee was probably the world's most famous historian in the 1950s. Certainly was in the 1940s. He kind of peaked in around like early 50s, and obviously Toynbee was predicting. You know, he was a prophet of doom. He was saying like, you know, there were these civilizational cycles and the trajectory we're on. You know, there's going to be a lot of shit down the pike, and all of this material progress people keep on pointing to almost is a false signal. And you know, and he was just pointing to all of the things that we've come to see. And but he was like watching the attacks on him. They were all coming from a place of, we actually love our country and we think the future is going to be great. So shut up, Arnold. You know,
Yeah.
and the counter argument was always, you just hate this country, Toynbee. You're not patriotic enough. Actually, like, you should have faith that your country is going to be fantastic. And that kind of attitude of almost like unlimited optimism that Toynbee was met with, I think is something that I've come to retrospectively see, especially in the 1950s. There's this kind of attitude that we're going to march into the future and nothing's going to go wrong, and that anybody who says otherwise is a pariah type thing. And I think now, from the vantage point of 2023, we can kind of look back and see how like wrong-headed some of those assessments were of the optimists, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's also very interesting how we now see this weird attempt by, I mean, certainly in America, well, they do it in Britain as well. I mean, we saw the kind of where Boris Johnson tried to kind of revive World War II and like slightly post World War II kind of British, let's all pull together for the national cause. Like, but yet deployed for like the kind of worst reasons, COVID hysteria. And in America, I mean, the Democrats are kind of trying to do the same weird thing. We love America, rah rah rah. Love it or leave it. If you've got to get behind us on, except it's all like support Ukraine, or you're like a communist Russian. It's like a weird replay of the 1950s, except like completely inverted.
Yeah, I mean, I put out a tweet the other day, which, sometimes you put out a tweet and it just does gangbusters. Gets like, I mean, this one got over 1,000 likes. I consider that, for us, that's a good tweet, right? For Aaron McIntyre, it's just any tweet, right? But for us, if a tweet does over 1,000 likes, that's that's a banger type thing. And did you see that there was that bloody Ukraine protest by the, what were they called, the donkeys or something, led by donkeys? God. And Emily Thornberry, who's this kind of rotund Labour politician, essentially,
swag.
She's kind of typical like Islington pseudo lesbian, essentially, who is the shadow attorney general, God help us. She replied to the tweet showing that and said, "Made me cry." And then I quote tweeted that and said, "Britain was a country once. Now it's just a shambling mass of womanhood crying at awful astroturfed, agit-propped for a corrupt shithole in Eastern Europe as sub-80 IQ proles beg around for a single carrot in Asda. I hate you so much." Okay. And, generally he was quite well received in our type of circles, but couldn't help but notice that certain Tory boys were in my replies, basically saying, like, if you don't like it, you can just leave type thing.
Oh, for God.
And I'm just like, I mean, what sort of response is that? I mean, you're basically kind of sidestepping. It's the same tactic they used on Toynbee, like, 70 years ago. It's not that I hate the country. I hate what it's becoming. I hate what it's become. And I'd like it to be otherwise. But the response is, oh, well, if you criticize the way things are, now you're not a patriot for some reason.
Yeah.
Or, you should be deported or something. It's very odd. Anyway.
It's very odd. In fact, I will say that it's actually much worse than it was. I mean, people have this. I love sometimes to talk about the 1950s because I think people have this completely media-generated image of the 1950s that is just basically a giant cliche that really doesn't reflect the reality of what was going on in either Britain or America. But I would say things are worse. I would say that we have this idea that the 1950s was this terribly repressive decade where any kind of dissent towards any official line would be met with being ostracized or worse. But it's not true. I think that's much more the case today than it was then. You were at least allowed to have like policy differences then. You can't even have that now.
I mean, think about the logic of the Tory boy. Like, what's he doing there? He's essentially low-key defending Emily Thornberry. It's like, what's he doing? I mean, they'd rather try to have like one up on people from our side of things than clearly call out the fact that somebody like Emily Thornberry should have nothing to do with politics whatsoever. I mean, in any sane, normal country, someone like Emily Thornberry would be, I don't know, at best running a school somewhere.
Yeah, working at a transport cafe or something.
So
cooking eggs. That's what she.
Anyway, just before we get going here, I'll remind people I need to pay the bills. So please do buy courses at the academic agency, especially the Trivium or the Mega Bundle. They're the best ones to get. But other courses are available. I at some point when my kind of post book haze lull, I've been in a kind of dream world for the past month. But anyway, when I wake up again, I might do a literature course. Skeptical Waves has offered to help me try to recover my old lectures. So if I could find those, I could do a literature course very easily. But also at some point very soon, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to finally do the Jordan Peterson rewrite it I'll do a special one-off stream as a kind of long advert for Foundations of Writing, rewriting the Conservative Manifesto by Jordan Peterson. One of the worst pieces of writing I've ever read in my entire life.
I mean, good luck to you, because it's
So anything you'd like to plug, D, before we
Herculean task. No, not really. I don't think I'm doing anything.
Spaces.
Yeah, you can check out. I do these Twitter Spaces occasionally. Maybe we'll do one. Who knows? So look for that on Twitter. Also, if people, I actually did a stream with Red Hawk on last Thursday. So if people want to go to Red Hawk's channel, and
I hope it was better than the stream I did with Red Hawk's mate last week.
It certainly was, because of course I was on it. But yeah, it was good. And I like Red Hawk, and he's an interesting chap, and more handsome than I thought he would be. By the way, never seen him before, but yeah.
With respect to Ryan, I mean, objectively speaking, he was not well received. I'll just say that by the crowd, which can be a bit rough if you've never been on the channel before. But going into the stream, he was worried about his fans behaving, but I was quietly thinking,
yeah.
Do you know what my fans are like?
You don't know what you're in for, mate.
Anyway, let us. I tell you what, though, there were some weird defenders of that stream. Like Ian Duke came in saying, "Oh, I thought this was a great guest and a great stream," and Charlie liked it and things like that. So
yeah, but Charlie is, I mean, Charlie liked it because what would I say? Big Spurg energy. Yeah.
I will say that. Do you remember we did a stream once ranking the first 75 cigar streams over on AA Gold? At some point, I want to do ranking streams of all the Deepest Laws and all the cigar streams, where we put them in, S tier, A tier. I want to do that at some point on AA Gold when I get a chance.
That should be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll never do it because we never
do anything. I'm trying to use AA Gold a bit more now that I've got time again. Until something comes along to gobble my time again.
You've got the women thing. You've got the
but who would you do? We'll finish, and then there'll be like a 2-month gap where I can use that space for something else.
Okay. Maybe we can finish those Ashes commentaries.
Yeah, indeed.
God's sake.
Anyway, shall we
What?
make a start, D, with
Huh?
the
What?
with the
Okay.
videos?
That's right.
Yes,
Videos.
we're
That's
we're
what we're
not
doing
just
here.
here to idly chatter. We're watching.
Chatter.
The first one is called Buying Food.
Buying
Don't know if,
food.
do we want us there, or should we just get rid of us?
Do we want? I don't think we need us, do we? Ugh! Ah! Hang on.
No, let's get rid of us. But
Oh,
are you doing that thing where we're,
yeah.
starting on 3?
Oh my God! Hang on. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Boy, that was.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Bloke. It will function as a guide to all of the, because coming into the channel now, D, right? You're faced with basically like a mountain. It's like I don't know. Do you remember when Mark said he thought Bob Dylan was black? Right?
What? No, I never. I didn't. Oh
Mark,
no!
so uncultured. He thought that Bob Dylan was black. But can you imagine being Mark and facing like the enormous mountain of Bob Dylan's work and thinking, "Oh, how do I get into him?"
Yeah.
Somebody coming to the channel now faces that kind of. You've just got these hundreds and hundreds of streams and videos and things. So,
yeah. And they think we're black. Yeah.
And they think certainly they think I'm black. So there we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not get into the etymology of Iran yet again.
No.
Okay.
No. All right. Buying
Okay.
food, because none of us know how to buy food, and so we need a film to tell us how to buy food. This is an American film from 1950.
So in 1950, they had public information films on how to buy food. Brilliant. Okay, on 3D. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Oh, look at the hammer and sickle in that eye. Beware.
Yeah, was that a communist symbol there?
I don't know what that was. Yeah.
From the University of Kansas. I don't know much about them. Professor
Edna A. Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Centron Corporation, Lawrence, Kansas.
The American housewife, who has a more important, a more responsible occupation.
I'm sorry, but already it's a better world. Take you on a walk down that street.
Yeah, and she's a housewife. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's the most important role.
Look at this picture of order.
If her income is limited, and most incomes are, it is her duty to be sure that what she has to spend buys the most in healthful, nutritious food for her family.
Would.
Yes, she feels that she must buy wisely.
Sorry, D.
But just what does this mean? What can she do
Trying
to
to
be
recognize
sure
any
her
of these
money
products.
goes as far as possible?
Where's the Campbell soup?
One of the first things she can do is just what this young lady is doing. Shopping from a grocery list.
Okay.
Using the list tends to eliminate so-called impulse buying, which is a great waster of housewives' funds. What is impulse buying?
So that's their tip, is it? Make a shopping list.
Henry he's frequently guilty of it. Henry's going to pick up something for dinner.
Uh-oh.
His wife
Henry.
didn't tell him what to get. Anything that looks good, she said. Henry's been working hard all day, and he's hungry. What's more, he's hungry for something different, getting tired of the same old things all the time. That's it. That's what he's hungry for, oysters. So Henry takes not 1, not 2, but 3 pints of oysters.
Bloody hell.
The way he feels right now, he could eat all of them by himself.
Based.
3.
Henry and his wife don't often eat cake. Neither of them care much for it. But tonight, Henry's really hungry.
All right,
Is Henry an extremely young Robert Duvall? No.
Wood.
Kind of from the side, he looks a bit Robert Duvall-like. But...
Yeah, I like that shot from
Henry
below.
knows he
Very
ought to have some vegetables, good diet, and all that, you know. What's this? Henry's never seen anything like this before.
It's sweet.
Looks good, so he'll take
I seem to recall, by the way, Robert Duvall trivia. His first role was in. He played the character Boo Radley, I believe, in To Kill a Mockingbird.
But how is impulse buying wasteful?
Oh, okay.
When Henry finished dinner that evening, he was sure he wouldn't be able to eat another oyster for a long, long time. And almost 2 of the 3 pints that Henry bought will have to be thrown away.
3 pints of oysters.
Neither Henry nor his wife cared for the new vegetable. Most of what he bought will go to waste.
So they didn't like Swedes.
Henry and his wife tired of the cake long before it was eaten.
Oh,
What?
no.
What are you doing, woman?
Henry found
Why
out
didn't he
about
just
impulse
freeze the
buying
oysters?
the hard way.
Oh. Also, I like the. Also, I like the bowling.
housewife may
Did you see
buy
the bowling
quantities
pin?
which are not economical for her family.
Salt and pepper shaker. Yeah.
Here are 2 different size cans of the same product.
Can I just say something,
The
D,
small
right?
can contains 16
Yesterday I was in a
ounces,
theme park
costs
and I
12
watched
cents,
I watched this Eastern
75
European
hundredths of
woman
a cent per ounce.
cuss out
The
her
large
British
can
husband
Yeah.
contains 31
right
ounces,
in front of
which
everybody.
is only 22
Yeah,
cents,
I
which is
Right.
heard about that.
71
All
hundredths
he
of a
had
cent per
done, his
ounce.
transgression was just he didn't want to go on the
Which
ride
shall
at the
she
end of the
buy?
day. This dude
The answer depends
bought
entirely upon the
and
situation.
ate 3 pints
If
of
the food
oysters
requirements of the family are great
and
enough,
felt sick,
the
and his
large
wife
can
just
is the
kind
better
of
buy,
tended to
because
him.
all
She
of
didn't
it
like
will be used.
cuss him
Exactly.
out
None
or
will be
shout at
left
him
over.
or do you notice
That
that?
would be- Look at it and look at all these children. Can you imagine?
But if the family is small, the small can may be the better buy, since part of the large can would probably have been wasted.
What are they
The
eating?
right answer depends upon the requirements of the purchaser.
I do have to wonder about the target audience, dealer. Who is stupid enough to not know this
Sometimes
stuff?
substantial savings can be affected by
I
buying
would suppose these are
encased lots.
for children. I would think they would look like school children.
But this presents
Ah,
a storage
makes sense, I
problem that
suppose.
some people may not be able to solve. It's wise to be sure the food is
People in
well
the chat
liked
are
by
like now
everyone
hungry for
before
oysters.
you buy too
Pints
much
of
of it.
oysters. To be fair, I always like an oyster.
Obviously, highly perishable foods are not suitable for quantity buying because they
No.
spoil too quickly. When buying canned goods, be sure to read the label.
Okay.
The information on the label is much more reliable than the
Heavy
flowery
syrup.
language of advertisements. Some labels are of the descriptive type that you see here, giving the buyer some description of what is to be found in the can.
Okay.
Lima beans. Okay. Pineapple. Yeah. Good.
Other labels carry a letter grade, which indicates the characteristics of the contents. The meanings of the letters vary with the type of food.
Okay.
Usually,
Grade
the
C.
grade A indicates a fancier product.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Why
By the
do you
way,
ever put
They
that
don't have.
on?
Well, they don't have them
These
anymore.
grade
They
A
only.
tomatoes are
Yeah, they
larger,
got rid.
more colorful,
You don't
and
ever
less
say
broken than
see
the
like
grade
grade
C,
C and grade B
although
in America
both grades
anymore.
are probably equally nutritious
They've
and
changed it to
healthful.
like A and AA and
These
AAA
are canned
because they
Right.
wanted them all to sound
Which is
good.
grade A
You know.
and which is grade C?
It's also difficult to tell when it's in black and white and covered
Here,
with
the smaller
scratches. You
beans
know.
are grade A.
I mean,
They are more
there is an
tender
unofficial
and
version of this in this country where it's just like, taste the
Here are
difference in
grade A and
fringe,
grade
Tesco
C
stripey.
peaches.
You
Tell the
you
difference?
kind of know what the grade A and B and C is.
What are
You know.
these eggs? Oh no, they're peaches. I
Of
suppose.
course
Peaches.
you can't.
Gray
Not only
peaches,
appearance,
I like
but
it.
taste and degree of ripeness determine the grades of these peaches. The
All right.
size is of small importance.
Size
The
is
thing
of
to
small
remember
importance,
is to
friend.
read the label. Know what you are
It's how you
buying
use the peaches that
before
count.
you buy.
So
Have you
we've
ever
now
stopped to
learned to
think how
look
many
at the
ways
label.
you could buy one
All right.
kind of food? Dried, canned, frozen, or fresh. It will pay you to analyze the situation and decide which is most economical for you.
This is like
Usually,
remedial level
the
stuff,
season
D. I
when the
mean,
food
I don't
or
believe it's for
vegetable is
kids.
ripe,
I believe
it
they
will be
were just
most
aimed it
economical
at.
to buy it fresh.
Genuinely thought the public was this stupid.
This box of strawberries will cost about half as
fairness, they
much
probably
in
are.
summer when berries are plentiful,
What?
as it will in winter. The season of the year has a tremendous
Oh, I
influence
see.
on the price of
There's a
most
bus
fruits
driving
and
through my
vegetables.
strawberries.
The reason for this great difference in price is the cost of transporting the
Look,
food from a warm
train
climate
pills.
Mhm.
where it can be grown in winter to the market which may
I've
be
noticed, by the way,
several
that is no
miles
longer the
distant.
case. There's no real price difference when you buy for strawberries at any time of year
Different
anymore.
kinds of
No,
fruits
Same all
and
year round,
vegetables
right?
are in
Yeah, a lot
season
of this
at
is
different times
yes.
throughout the year.
I mean, this was back,
It would be more
all
economical for
the
you to
kind
serve
of
the ones that
organic
happen to
hipsters
be
should
in
love,
season
should have
at
loved
any
this
particular
because it was
time.
again all season. Everything was seasonal,
You may find that you can save money by doing your own preservation of foods.
There you go.
Home-canned food
See, it
will
is.
usually
It's
cost
this is
less
like
than commercially
this is
canned.
like
And if the
trad
housewife's time
lifestyle
is not too
hipster
highly
now.
valued,
Everyone's
this can
canning.
be a
Of
saving.
course, in this day and age with a
Frozen
homosexual youth,
foods are the
she would
nearest
have to
thing to
open the
fresh
jars for
foods
the
available.
boys, for
They
the
are
men,
convenient, easily
Yeah, I
prepared,
mean, look
and
at her.
palatable,
She's
but
because
they are
they
usually
wouldn't be able to
priced
open the
higher
jars
than other
themselves.
types.
no,
This
absolutely
price
not.
is
Do you think
partially
Columba could open a
offset
jar?
by the
No.
fact that there is no waste.
Well, they're too busy looking at that bloody Greek, that
Oh,
bloody tomboy girl on.
There are various
Whatever.
meats available to the housewife, ranging from the most tender, most expensive
Eudaimoneus.
cuts
So, yeah, she's gonna get the oysters. Oh my God,
to
steak,
the equally nutritious but less tender portions of the animal, which are sometimes ground or chopped.
mint.
At
Yeah, why
this
do they call
point,
it ground
the
rather than
cooking
mince
ability of the
in
housewife
America?
becomes highly
Don't
important.
know.
It
Look,
doesn't
put
take
the
much
put the
skill to make an
entire
excellent
piece
meal
of
from
butter
an
in there.
expensive T-bone
Good.
steak.
Looks nice.
Yeah,
But the
I
sign
mean,
of an accomplished cook is
it
an
weren't great,
attractive and
but
tasty dish made from less
ooh, look
expensive
at
meat.
that.
Hamburger.
Hamburgers.
Hamburgers. Look at this. They're
Frankfurters.
like round hamburgers.
This is making me really hungry, by the way.
I
I'm
know,
starving.
I know. Why would we always do
Well-seasoned
this?
stew is a dish a housewife
there.
can be proud to set before her family. The
Very
nutritive
generous
value of meats
portion.
varies little with price. The desirability and small proportion of the tender cuts causes them to be priced higher. Milk is an important part of every good diet.
Yeah.
Your attempts to economize on it may have disastrous
Of course,
results.
milk is white
Use
supremacist
the
now, Dee.
best grade
Remember?
of milk available to you.
Listen to this.
Disease may be
If you
contracted through
don't
drinking
try to economize,
unsanitary raw
they're
milk.
telling you to drink all the milk you can. This film is great. I like it.
Now let's review the important rules
All right,
for
let's
buying
review.
wisely. Shop from a grocery list to avoid impulse buying.
All right.
Decide upon the most economical quantity for your family.
Okay.
Check in your local market as to which form of food is the most economical for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Purchase fruits and vegetables in season whenever possible.
Exactly. Yes. That's
good
absolutely
tip,
true.
Do
yeah.
your own food
And then
preservation when feasible.
much more tasty. And yes, preserving is easy and fun.
Exercise your skill and ingenuity in preparing tasty and healthful
Skinless
dishes from less
wieners.
expensive meat.
I know a lot of skinless wieners.
You'll find that keeping these
That's the
things
American
in mind
variety,
will help you to buy
Snip.
wisely and stay within your food budget.
Look, it's a commie eagle. Look, hammer
Yeah.
and sickle.
There's definitely
Beware.
a little cunning commie eagle thing in there. Well, I learned absolutely nothing from that.
I learned
from,
I learned nothing except that even scratched grey 70-year-old pictures of food make me hungry.
I'm starving. All I've got here, D, is bananas. Do you think I could sneak
Bananas?
a banana? Yeah,
Oh no.
I've got shit. I'm just living as a chimp. Just eating bananas. I read somewhere that you can just get by living on bananas. So I'm trying it.
No, don't. They've got a huge amount of sugar in them. You'd be
Oh,
better off
Well, I've
eating
eaten
potatoes.
3 and I'm fucking starving. And it's only
Yeah,
4 o'clock. So, you know.
potatoes.
Okay, so
All right, enough of that.
next one
What's next? The snob? No.
was the snob was vetoed, wasn't it? Was that right?
No.
Can't
The
remember.
snob is good. We should watch the snob.
The snob is allowed.
Well,
This is the
I think
snob.
yeah.
Well, I put it in the Twitter because we tested all of these for copyright clearance as good boys that we are.
Yeah. We don't really have it. Like, there's not a theme. The
Yeah.
theme may emerge, but we don't have one
Yeah.
yet.
The snob from 1958 is kosher. So let's go.
Okay, should we do that? I mean,
Yeah.
or if you want to
do-
go chronologically, we could go with Design for Dreaming. That's a bit before the snob, is it? No. Anyway, snob. How about that?
Yeah. Let's do design for dreaming. Yeah.
All right. Fine. Then
let's
we'll
do
do
cro-
snob.
Let's do chronological.
Okay,
Because
so
we're
19.
autists.
We're
Okay.
autists, so that would be 1956. Design for Dreaming.
1956.
Yeah.
Oh, look
Is
at that. They loved
Where?
that font in that era.
Where? Which one?
This font here.
Oh, that weird, yeah, fanciful.
It's on a lot of the Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yeah.
You
And a
ready?
lot of those you can identify. Yeah. Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1, and go.
This is mental, by the way.
I dreamt last night the moon was so bright it
Okay.
melted the world away.
The moon melted the world away. There's the solar.
When I saw Prince Charming come into my bedroom and sang.
Okay.
Let me persuade you to come to the place where tomorrow meets today.
Ooh, thank you. It sounds very
So an Eyes Wide Shut
May I
character
come just as
in
I
a
am?
Sea-Doo.
General Motors have invited her.
This is how Mrs. A gets up in the morning.
Maybe they don't, but I don't care. Haven't got a thing.
For a while, she had a morning playlist for AAA where, you know, that really annoying song, Good Morning, Good Morning. She'd have that in
Yeah.
there.
God.
Oh my!
Go after it, fly.
I followed my heart through the night past 1,000 windows, yellow with light.
This is bizarre.
Down it fell, and it landed in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel.
It's also like sort of in verse as well.
Okay. A short hair like that in Vogue in 1956.
Yeah.
She looks about Audrey Hepburn. Something
I'm a
like that.
girl who happens to think that a brand new car is better than me.
Excited?
Delighted. So glad I got invited.
Since it's just
Where do you get taken in your dreams to a car show?
you, honey.
She really wants a General Motors car.
Yeah.
They're all so beautiful, I really don't know, so let me go down, get the road.
You see, look, I mean, this is like
Each one must
pretty hardcore materialism, isn't it?
Yeah.
So-
I want a Corvette.
I want a Corvette. To be fair, I would that
I want
Corvette.
a Pontiac too.
Yeah, I would take it.
Okay, we'll have the usual two-car garage.
People are saying this was used in an Adam Curtis documentary, D.
Feel about this
I wouldn't be surprised. This is fairly well known. Yeah. I mean, this is high production values as well. You know, this I believe was a Technicolor.
This
Um,
Buick's a beaut.
I'll try it.
Yeah, get in the Buick, darling.
Creamy I think that we ought to buy it.
I mean, there's a deep schizoid insanity to this. Cadillac.
I mean, she is literally being intoxicated by American capitalism. It's quite amazing. Really.
Hey, lady, your apron is showing.
Better get her into the kitchen quick.
Can you imagine Julius Evola watching this, too?
And I love that now that she's been through the car show, now we get this completely mental imaginary kitchen.
And you end up in the kitchen baking a cake. But this was a kitchen like none I'd seen. Put a card in the slot, and onto the screen pops a picture of just how your dish will look.
All right.
All the ingredients you need to cook. No need for the bride to feel tragic. The rest is push-button magic. So
Ooh.
whether you bake or broil or stew, the
Do you like that in the kitchen, do you?
does
That-
it all for you.
that
Don't
rotating
have to be chained to the stove
pillar
all
thing?
day. Just
I mean, it looks nice, but it would be extraordinarily inconvenient. Look at this oven. The oven is the thing that I think is most odd.
tick,
That's an oven.
tick,
Yeah, that's the oven.
free to have fun around the clock.
Now she's going to. Oh! Now she's going to flounce around whilst dinner is being prepared by the robots in the kitchen. Do you reckon she'd have a chance in Who Would You Do?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Exhausted. The kitchen of tomorrow is calling me.
This style of vintage doesn't do that well, unless it's like literally Audrey Hepburn. So
Time for the show. Everybody on stage.
It's going to turn out that this is just like an advert for Pfizer, and this is all just a psychotic episode.
And now, a glamorous dancer in a special number, Dance of
a
Tomorrow.
lot of the chat would though.
Well,
Everyone says the future is strange, but I have a feeling some things won't change.
What's this then? She said everybody thinks the future is strange, but I have a feeling that things won't change. What does she mean? Is she talking about people wanting TNA or something?
yeah, and then she does her weird.
She was wrong about that as well, though, wasn't she?
El Dorado Town Car by Cadillac.
Ensemble by Christian Dior of Paris.
Oh, it's she's wearing Dior. Amazing.
Buick presents the Sleek Centurion.
Driving Coat by Montesano of New York.
Oldsmobile's elegant
These aren't production cars either.
It's interesting though that this is like going back to what you were talking about before. This is the exact era that trans, like the quote unquote trans, point to, and it's like, well, it hardly embodies traditionalist values. This era.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I mean, again, it's very important to remember that when you're looking at these things, these are the fantasies of like marketing, people and people in Hollywood who may not be representative of American values.
I don't know. Yeah, Evola says truth is myth is truer than history. This is the myth. This is the myth making of 1956 in my view. What else is it? This is a kind of version of the 50s American dream, is it not?
I don't know. I mean, again, I think it's still as we always know, it's always top down. So this is less, I think, mythologizing the culture rather than someone implanting a vision to try to influence the culture.
It was a visual reference to Metropolis. Fritz
I
Lang.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder. It
Really does make me think of Metropolis.
So this is the part of the film that I remember seeing lots of clips of this bit where they drive to the future city. So here's your 15-minute city.
Jetsons.
Yeah.
I mean, none of this shit happened, did it?
No.
None of it happened.
Nothing. I mean,
Not one bit of it happened.
no.
Instead, what we got is an endless influx of. Well, let's not stop. Let's stop.
Which, of course, are not present in these.
No, of
fantasies,
course not. No, of course not.
Look at what they took from you.
Is that a Ski Electric set?
Yeah. Yes, I think basically it is. Yeah. It's
Oh, she's fallen in love with the dude now, with the Fred Astaire dude.
yeah.
Completely bizarre film. Completely bizarre. Okay. So the next one in chronological order is The Snob from 1958.
I think you'll really like this one. This is good.
Okay. So ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and go.
This is like the academic agent story.
Okay. There's a party going on. Kind of reminiscent of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf so far. Isn't it?
Expression x to the 9th minus 3 squared.
Did you hear that? Thousands of Zoomers just got suddenly excited, Dee, because she looks a bit like a boy.
Come in.
This is you,
Hi,
eh?
Mom. Hi.
What, this girl who's
Girl.
just come in?
No, the
You're
girl.
working so late
Oh, this girl.
on Friday
Okay.
night?
This is my last algebra problem. I'll save my history until tomorrow.
Sarah, your father and I appreciate the fact that you take your schoolwork seriously. But, well, couldn't you manage to arrange your time so you could have a little fun, too?
I have a certain amount of homework to do, and I like to get it done on time.
But you have the whole weekend. You could go out on Friday night or have somebody in.
Like then? Is that what you mean?
Having a good time is all I mean. And that's why I talked to Ron's mother the other
You
day. and-
didn't. Well, I suppose you fixed it so he'd have to invite me over.
Look at it, Dee. The boomers just wanted to be swats, and they were being pushed by their evil,
By their
their evil parents to be more
Yeah.
liberal.
I know I could if I wanted to. I don't.
I think you should go.
Let her work.
You're
Leave her
only
alone.
young once.
Be a libertine, darling.
Be so corny. There's nobody over there I want to see. I think I better finish my algebra.
Of course, dear. We'll talk about this some other time.
Dark liberal mother. Dark liberal mother, Dee. I did kind of look a bit like that when I was. It's a bit worrying, actually.
Glad to have you.
Okay, Ron, thanks. Take it.
Your friends are certainly a nice bunch, Ron.
Yeah, they're the greatest.
Do you suppose they'd like to help you do something really nice?
What do you mean, Mom?
Well, how about being more friendly to Sarah Inman?
Sarah Inman? Oh, Mom.
No, really, dear, I mean it. Now, you could invite Sarah over here next Friday to join us.
Ask Sarah to come over here? Oh, gee whiz, why?
Gee whiz, gee whiz.
No, I don't particularly want her. Sarah Inman.
Now, Ron, you know we've always said that all of your friends are welcome here at any time.
Well, I know, Mom, but... well,
It's
the
also
idea just
frightening
kinda
how
grew.
masculine all of these
We've
young
got
men
a
are
large
compared to,
bedroom,
like,
well-stocked
if you got a
refrigerator, and
room
lots
full of
good
young men
records.
today.
So the gang started drifting in here on
Yes.
Friday.
Absolutely
Nobody
correct.
needed to be asked, but Sarah never came. She's too high hat for that. She wants a special invitation, and if she gets it, it'll be just one more reason for her to think she's better than anybody else.
Now, look here, Ron.
Ooh.
Years ago, when you had rheumatic fever, don't you remember who
Dee,
it was who came over?
you know I
here
love that
every
film Rope
day
by
and
Alfred
read to
Hitchcock.
you by the hour?
Yes.
Ron has got the same
Sure,
accent
Mom,
as a lot of the people in Rope.
She's changed since then.
Oh,
Must be
Yeah.
like a
Ron, I
college,
don't think she's
kind of
really
mid-century college accent.
Yeah, it's
Why don't
it's
you give her a
partially that
chance?
mid-Atlantic accent
Yeah.
that Americans at certain
She was good
stations
to me once.
used to have.
I guess I can ask her to honor us with her presence.
Can't believe the parents are
I'll
literally
call
trying to
tomorrow.
corrupt this
Thanks,
young
Daddy.
girl.
Crap.
You know,
Quite interested
growing
in
up
Ron
brings
now.
different problems to different people.
And some, well, they just don't quite bring it off without falling down somewhere.
Well, if you ask me, where Sarah fell down was when she went into junior high. When she was in grade school, she was swell. She made good grades and had lots of friends.
I mean, look at his. I mean, even look at his hands, you know, and then look at the hands of like your average Zoomer male, you know. What happened?
Senior high.
Looking at my own
serious,
hands, Steve. Looking at my own hands, Steve.
Well, you're over there doing algebra. Ron is picking up Coca-Colas like a man.
I don't know. She may cut me dead. She does lots of other people. And I don't think she cares at all.
I really want Sarah not to turn him
Her
down.
Highness has a new sweater.
Ooh, it's luscious. You've got to hand it to Sarah. She certainly has good taste.
The way she actually thinks nobody else did.
She'll
Fully,
hear you.
it's gonna happen.
That's an awfully pretty sweater, Sarah.
Based.
Well, don't speak. Were you talking to me? Never mind.
Leave her alone.
Hear nobody, see nobody, talk to nobody. That's Sarah.
Just leave her alone. I don't get it. I don't get what the.
That girl
Okay,
looks
see,
like-
every society has its normies, Steve. You want to impinge.
It does. Oh, see, I want to hang out with a group of lads with like really high-waisted trousers and crew cuts.
What's all the excitement?
These are.
The election for next year's student council officer. Bill Tyler made president. Hey, let's get on the Sure, okay. I'll see you. I suppose you
Look,
don't
she's
think
not
we
interested in
done a good
elections
job?
either.
Based. It's right, Populist Illusion 1.0.
Oh, that girl. She's just sore because we picked Bill's design for the yearbook cover instead of hers. Let's go to class.
I know you shoot us all out of the kitchen, but I don't mind drying dishes.
Oh my God!
Besides,
Fucking leave her alone.
I wanted to
Is
talk
this
to you
Dad?
something.
Yeah.
Father.
You were so quiet during dinner. Something's bothering you. Care to cry on my shoulder?
Daddy, there's nothing to cry about.
Not one little thing?
Don't you want to cry, Sarah?
Talk
What the
about,
fuck is this? Leave her alone.
but it wouldn't do any good.
I'm waiting.
Come on, Sarah, cry.
Oh, all right. You'll think
Oh,
I'm
it's
silly.
awful.
Well, this morning, when I came to class, I was worried about the history test first period. I was going over it in my mind, and somebody spoke to me. Nancy Yeager. I didn't hear what she said, but she looked at me as if she just hated me. I worked hard on the history test, but I flubbed it. I know there are lots of people in there that don't study half as hard as I do, and they come off with the A's. I'm smarter than they are. I know I am.
That's right. That's right. Positive reinforcement, Dad.
Last week, I worked just hours and hours on a design for the yearbook cover. Bill Tyler handed in just a blotchy sketch. I couldn't see anything to it. But his design is going to be on the yearbook cover. It isn't fair. This afternoon, Ron from next door called and invited me over Friday night. I had to say yes because Mother's been pressuring me, but I don't want to go.
Based.
Bill Tyler will be there, and I don't like him.
Based.
President of Student Council. All the kids that get by on apple polishing will be there too, and I don't like them.
Pumpkin,
God, she's a simmering cauldron of resentment.
I'm sorry you don't like so many people. Friends are important in this world. You should encourage others to make good and not dislike them for it. I think maybe your mother's right.
Very wholesome.
I think you should go to Ron's get-together this Friday.
Oh, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake.
Try to
No.
Academic agent.
for whatever they are.
Get out there.
Pushing her to go out with Ron.
That's all the dishes. I can clean out the sink.
Okay, Punky?
I think Ron could loosen her up.
Do you know what?
Just one more question. All these people you don't like, aren't they happier than you are?
No! Look, you want to be the miserable prince, not the happy pig. Do you remember that?
Aren't they happier than you are?
No, be the miserable prince. It's your destiny, Sarah. Join me.
No, go to the party, Sarah. Go to the party.
You know, her name's Sarah, and she said it's not fair. I was waiting for the dad to say, "You say that so often. I wonder what your basis of comparison is." which is a labyrinth line, of course.
Yes.
First choice goes to our new president.
Look at him, playing up to us. Bill Tyler,
Same.
big man. Everything he does is too clever. Makes me sick. I'm just as good as he is. No, I'm better. He'll get no playing up from me.
Get some play from me, darling. Yeah, I like the football lunkhead archetype.
It's awesome. She's just like a Machiavellian evil genius, dude. Just sitting in
Yeah,
the
look
corner,
at
analysing what's going on.
Boy, I didn't know which was gonna wear out first, me or the music.
And notice she's sitting on like an upright old-fashioned chair. And he's like flopped down on a
How
modern
about it? You want to
canvas camp
I'd
chair.
rather not.
Well, you want to sit and talk then?
I'd rather not. Not
Ooh.
with you.
Based.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad.
No!
Are you satisfied?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You really froze him out, didn't you?
I don't know what business it is of yours if I don't want to dance.
Well, I think you did want to dance. You wanted to dance, all right, but you just couldn't pass up the chance to be a snob.
Yes.
I don't like the psychoanalysis going on here, dude. Stop
Ostracized.
psychoanalyzing Sarah. Leave it be.
Ostracized. Look at all of them,
Why not? What's the matter?
like monkeys in a cage.
Can I do anything?
Oh, it's Ron.
Oh, Ron, they're so mean and hateful. They don't understand anybody who isn't one of their gang and doesn't do all the silly things they do. They don't understand.
I'll get even one day.
The snob, hurting everyone, herself, her parents, her friends, other people. What makes Sarah act the way she does?
Just leave her do her homework, for God's
Is it a
sake.
cover-up for some lack she feels in herself?
Oh.
Can a friend like Ron help her in any way?
Sling us
Is
a
the
dick,
group
Ron.
justified in judging everything Sarah does as snobbery?
All she needs.
What do you think?
I think everyone should leave her alone. Just
What
leave
do
her
you
alone.
think?
I think she should be left alone. Well, that's it. That's the end.
That's it. What do you think?
I think that everybody needs to leave her alone as she goes off and writes a novel tediously breaking down social groups in her school.
The trouble with what's it called?
Trouble with David Hawkins.
See, I told you it. I told
Which
you
may
you
have been a
would like
novel
this.
I wrote.
Yeah,
But in fairness,
she's you.
In fairness, I never cried. I never cried or.
Oh, you
didn't
never
have
ran
that.
out and rubbed your face against the tree and
I
cried.
never really had that kind of feeling of resentment. I just kind of, I've always just hated the gang, the group.
Indeed.
I was trying. I mean, I was trying. Unlike Sarah, I was kind of friends with everybody. I just kind of secretly hated them.
I mean, to be fair, I do think Sarah had a problem. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that her first problem is, of course, she's a woman, and so even if she has these bookish tendencies, she's always going to be emotionally vulnerable. You know.
Indeed, I feel like they used a mixture of psychoanalyzing and emotional blackmail to break her down in that film, and really they should have let her be, and she would have fulfilled her destiny. become like, I don't know, written a
Childless,
bestseller.
childless spinster.
Yeah, maybe she'll end up going out with Ron. Ron's like, I can save her.
Yeah,
that was
Ron is-
that was Ron in the whole thing. I can
Yeah.
save her. You know. Okay, so shall we make Sarah the cover star?
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. I'll do a thumbnail for you with a 50s typeface. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Uh,
I like Sarah.
of
Okay.
course you do.
Okay.
By the way,
so
she's still living. The actress, and her surname is Rubin.
oh no, right? Okay, I've gone off in her.
Wow.
I know she was quite. You know, I think Sarah would do well in Who Would You Do as well with the homosexual youth because
Yeah. Oh, obviously she's got that. Yeah, she's got that slightly. And see, meanwhile, I mean, the true homosexual, you know, goes for Ron and the football star, and you know, all of them, the people with like actual masculine characteristics, you know, which of course young men don't have anymore. I mean, Sarah is more masculine than any Zoomer male that you can find on Twitter. So
Sarah could have been my long lost soulmate. We could have just, you know, I could have sat with her and I'd be like, yeah, look now, look at the dynamics, look at how that girl angled herself towards that chud over there, and we could have like autistically broken down every single element of that room. She would have fucking loved it. She just didn't have someone on her level to kind of draw out her natural tendencies. That's my claim.
Well, maybe you can find yourself another Sarah.
She had a what did I say? She had liberal parents though, basically forced her to integrate with the rest of
Indeed.
society. Yeah.
Like her weird, creepy father who just like stood in the kitchen and broke her.
To be fair, his advice was quite wholesome, and
Yeah.
I do think in truth that I do worry sometimes, Dee, in all seriousness, about how isolated some of the Zoomers are, of how few real life friends they've got,
Indeed.
how kind of apart from IRL they are.
Exactly. I mean,
Private.
just dancing in like the idea of going and dancing in a in a room and drinking Coca-Cola. You know, they're not going to do that.
I think some of the efforts I've made, you know, the basket weaving or the events and so on, I think that for some Zoomers, that's been a bit of a lease of life for them. Encourage them to, you know, get a life essentially.
Yeah, it does help. It really does help. You know, I mean, even if you're even if you're a introvert like me, still, you know, I need a carefully controlled dose of social interaction, and not just online. It really isn't the same.
No, you need in real life interactions.
Indeed.
Yeah. Although I now claim that I've done my fair share of that.
Oh, you have, yeah.
And now
I
no
mean,
longer need to do it.
I don't know how you ever survived the last few weeks.
Okay, so
especially when that Carl fellow came over.
Yes, Carl. I had to be with him all day and all night, and the next morning. And in the car when I gave him a lift back, you know.
Monstrous. You can't even drive.
Exactly.
All right.
All right. Next. Next video.
Did we do why vandalism?
No, we skipped that. Should we do that while we're still in the 50s?
Should we?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and go.
Oh.
This is vandalism. In this case, perhaps not too serious. But wherever it happens, vandalism may be the symptom of a sickness in an unfriendly world.
Yeah.
These feelings may not show on the surface. Take Jeff Turner. He doesn't see much love and the care that most people would give to a pet. is against him. A typical vandal? Every person is different, with inner
See, the
motivations
dog
of
that
his
saved
own,
him.
often not even known to himself. In Jeff's hidden personality are many scars.
This psychologizing
and
it
many
again,
open
D.
wounds. Their causes are not easy to understand.
What do you think the psychology of the typical BLM
Perhaps
looter
his
is?
home is at fault.
Do you think they go through these issues?
It's not that the dishes are dirty and the house
no.
is messy. It's something much deeper.
Oh my God.
Perhaps the emptiness of a home that is lacking in love and affection.
A lot of people saying, one, he's got a home. It's an actual home. That's what people will be saying now. Okay, he hasn't tidied it up, but
look at all the food. He's got tons of food. He's got a nice arse.
Complex circumstances which he himself can't fully
He's got an
control or
apple.
understand.
Yeah, clean your room, bucko.
Even among others of his own age, Jeff often feels left out and uncomfortable.
3 ounces, right. All right, somebody put him away? I'll do it. Oh, all right, Jeff. That's a gain of 3 ounces over the day before yesterday. Can anyone suggest the cause? Wendy?
It could be to the fat in the diet, Mr. Cole.
Yes, it could be. We have to consider that. But what other causes might there be? Jeff?
kind of sinister the way he's stroking that.
Idea? I don't know. Well, who can think of other causes? Yes?
Well, maybe if
Rightly or wrongly, Jeff has come to feel that everyone is against him.
Except the rabbit.
Outside, Jeff just like any boy on the block.
But see, he can't be. He can't have. You know, again, that's quite. And it's quite opposite of psychotic, because he wouldn't be able to have emotional relationships with animals. You know. In fact, psychotics tend to hurt animals.
There are others at odds with the world, but for different reasons. Here is Don Cardiff.
Oh. Looks like
His folks
Kyle
have
Rittenhouse.
prodded and nagged at Don until, without knowing it,
It's a nice coat.
them and himself as well.
You forgot your stars! Your stars!
leave him alone. For God's sake. You forgot your testicles. I've taken them from you.
Made worse by the lack of family love and respect.
Why don't you get out then? I'd have more money if I knew when to get out.
Oh.
This is a lot of liberal bullshit analysis, D.
These are city boys, but theirs is not only a city problem, nor are
City
all who
boys.
get involved in vandalism necessarily deeply disturbed. But wherever the natural warmth of human feeling has been turned to resentment by constant lack of affection and understanding, there is danger of vandalism.
Is that the case, though?
No, I don't think so at all. I think this is very...
I think
They're just
young
like-
men just like to smash stuff up sometimes, you know?
Yeah, you know, everyone does. Well, all men do, I think.
These boys are bored.
But you need to break rocks and, you know...
Come on, what are you stalling for? What's the hurry? We ain't going anywhere.
I mean, these are real hardened criminal hoodlums, you know, with their malted milkshakes.
What's the matter, man? You got too much money? I got $2. $2? Maybe we can do something. Let's go to a movie or something. What's playing? I don't know. What difference does it make? Let's do a movie.
Okay, so they're bored.
Yeah.
Okay, but I take boredom as a you know, as a legitimate reason.
We can go for a ride. Can't get nobody to go with us.
But the idea that they're doing it because they're unloved is just bullshit. I'm afraid.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
Like who?
Yeah, these are young men suffering from the domesticity of modernity, you know.
No, I mean, you know, like in the army, like there are loads of people who just sign up for the chance to kill someone. You know,
And inner resentment
kind of one of those
lead to
people.
the destruction of property.
one of those things
Well, that's
nobody
what I
ever
mean.
talks about. Being like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, these are young men who just, who need to go out and
Many people are nervous and fidgety,
break
but they
things
seem
and,
to be able to
be
control
violent.
their actions so that they're not destructive. In these boys, feelings of resentment are too great to be
What is the
controlled
cottage
completely,
burger? That's what I want to know.
even when they themselves are not fully aware of their feelings.
maybe that's what they call the loos in that place, the cottage.
Although they have no plans
Do some
at the moment,
cottaging
these boys are headed trouble
in
before the evening
in the burger parlor. Yeah, right.
The
Yeah.
people in the chat saying today they'd give them ADHD meds, wouldn't they? These
Absolutely.
lads.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can vandalism
Boys,
be
the
reduced?
slow boys club.
Can these boys be persuaded to take part in some community activity in order to help them get rid of boredom?
That's the Sadiq Khan solution.
Boys clubs with strong leadership
It's going
and
well, isn't
community
it?
support might win their interest and keep them off the
Yeah,
street.
working really well.
The community has a responsibility here, but so have the boys themselves. They have to be.
You know what they need is they remember like Chuck Connors
club doesn't mean much if you
from
won't
that
join.
film.
I mean, I want to point out, Dee, that we've had literally 75 years of this utter bullshit at this point, and things have got more violent. There have been more delinquents.
Yeah.
They've not solved this problem. They've done the opposite, and it's all this, like, oh, send them to a youth club, give them more love and care, and all this sort of stuff. It's just bollocks.
The sympathetic interest of good teachers and counselors can do wonders in making the world seem less cold and hostile.
See, exactly. You need a
bullshit,
balding professor in a bow tie
just
to
not
make the
true.
world less hostile.
Because just use your common sense. This film was made in 1955. Is the society more violent or less violent than 1955? More.
Yeah.
Of right and wrong might steer
Well, let's just say that there's a whole population of people that isn't shown in these films that may have had something to do with the declining standards and increasing violence in society
be nurtured
in
until
that
they
time.
put down roots. Family, friends,
There's
community institutions all play their role in the complex process.
See, they
through
could
which
go
every
into confession.
personality develops
Go
its
into the
own
church, boys. No.
individual form. These boys' many unhappy and painful experiences have come to feel resentful toward everyone.
Say, there's a free movie at the community center tonight. Those free movies. Yeah. Anyway, it's always too crowded in there.
It's always too crowded in there.
literally having a go at free movies.
I love it.
Even when the community makes the effort.
What was is it Call of the Wild? What is it?
Tonight, fellas? No, we're kind of busy tonight. How about a little basketball? No, we've got plans. Well, come in anytime. Yeah, sure, Mr. Brewer. Yeah.
Yeah, Call of the...
We got to go and
Look at that.
drink more milkshake and
Prison in a school.
stab the bench again.
Pull the stuffing out of it.
Say, it's open. How about that? Let's take a look around. It might be fun, huh? Better not. It'd be too bad if they catch us.
What is that? Is it just like an abandoned Gothic mansion in the middle of this town?
It's the element of risk and excitement that is drawing them to this.
Yeah.
Because they're young men.
A guard walking by now might save these boys from doing things they'll be sorry for later. But guards can't solve the real problem. How to keep inner feelings from building up until they...
Ashen Duke says, off to the Moloko milk bar, my troopies.
Yeah, they are very Alex Boy, aren't they? These
Yeah,
lads,
yeah.
but-
They need the cod pieces and the eyeball jewellery and...
You understand what I'm saying, though? They're not doing this because they're resentful at society. They're just doing it because it's a bit of danger and it's a bit of excitement and it's a bit of risk-taking and, playing basketball without Codger was gay or whatever. That's how they would reason it to themselves.
But in a way, of course, that is a resentment of society, because of course this was a society of peak domestication.
Domesticity, yes. And look, I mean, it doesn't have any real kind of anti-white propaganda, unless you count the psychologizing. It doesn't have all the stuff that people would point to today wasn't there in 1955, and yet they still felt resentful, quote unquote. So maybe it's just a feeling in young people. Evelyn talks about it, the wasp stuck in the jar, and they're banging up against the side of the glass.
They're kind of dumb. He likes me, see? See how he puts his nose
If they hurt the rabbit, I'm out of here.
I hope they don't.
No, he likes the rabbit. He's not going to let them. Oh, they're in this. They broke in the school. That's where they are.
Oh, okay.
I probably flunked. Say, how about that? Graded and everything. Yeah. Well, we can fix that.
Yeah, there's no 30 stone black girls pulling each other's hair extensions. There's no urban youth smashing their teacher's head in with a Nintendo
somebody's
Switch.
pointing out in the chat that this would be punishable by death in America. It's trespassing.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, that's high risk. High risk.
How vandalism usually starts.
Yeah.
Not
Tear it up.
planned, Nothing to be gained.
See, it's like
or
Fight
achieved.
Club. Yeah.
Destruction has boiled up out of hidden resentments and strikes out blindly against everything in its path.
This still strikes me as weirdly unrealistic. Did people do
Yeah.
think like, yeah, let's go in and smash the fun, fellows.
Oh no!
Oh, let's knock over the dangerous chemicals. That's good. Oh. Huh?
Oh, did they kill a rabbit? What happened there?
Hey, Jeff, look.
Oh shit! They've started a fire.
Yeah, they.
My rabbit's gone. We better get out of here. Come on, my rabbit! My rabbit! Look out, Jeff. Look out for that fire.
What's going on here?
It's dead.
Oh, they're going to be in trouble now.
What?
They're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Before the law, you and you alone are responsible for the shocking, appalling waste you've caused. But we know today there's more to it than that. You parents must share the responsibility, for somewhere along the line you have failed your sons. You have failed to teach them moral values. And by denying them the love and security and the sense of belonging which is important to every living being.
Shame, all the shame.
You have hurt them as surely as though you had denied them food. I know that there are other factors too. The school, the church, and the community all share in this important problem. But the basic fact remains that you three boys are yourselves responsible for your acts.
Yes, severe punishment must follow.
Our doctors, our social workers, and others on our staff can help you overcome the fear and hate which has brought you before
social workers.
Oh,
help
God's
you learn
sake.
how to live a happy and
No.
normal life.
Yeah, you've wrecked the schools, so let's give you a social worker. Fucking
I
morons.
have no choice but to sentence you.
So ends another act of vandalism.
Okay, they did go to jail, they
Act of
went to
needless
jail.
waste and destruction.
To an environment where they can learn real savagery.
Proper crime, yeah. That was 1955, and when America's crime rate was at a record kind of all-time low. And
yeah.
They decided, yeah, let's do liberal bullshit. Let's do, and it only increased from there. If you want to learn about that, there's a good bit on it in the classic book, The Vision of the United by Thomas Sowell, where he talks about LBJ's liberal crime reforms. where they made it even gayer and even more like they gave criminals more rights and so on. And he just shows you like what they claimed it would do, what ended up happening, the results, and then how they shift the goalposts after the fact. And we're still doing it.
I mean, still doing it. Also, I mean, I would say that if I had to pick certainly a U.S. administration responsible for more disaster than any other in the 20th century, I mean, LBJ would be right up there because
I
of
mean,
course,
for me, worst president. I know people like to rag on Wilson or
no.
Lincoln. I think LBJ is just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, just the Great Society, aka welfare, and the 1965 Immigration Act. Was it 65?
Yeah, and the Civil Rights Act,
and the Civil Rights Act, which all of them, all those three things, just three. It's three shots in the back of the head for America, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but those liberal crime reforms that he did, as well, on top of what you just listed. In fact, I've got a video in my back catalogue somewhere. I think it's behind the paywall called LBJ Worst President Ever, where I kind of go through it point by point. I think it's probably still available for free in one of the academic agent retrospectives, maybe the one on America and race. But he was effectively, we always talk about like Tony Blair and his effect on this country. In a way, LBJ was like their Tony Blair. It happened earlier there. Although I will mention that Peter Hitchens notes that pretty much every change they made in America had a mirror over here. Who was the prime minister at that point? Wilson, was it? Or maybe even Macmillan.
Wilson or Macmillan, Heath. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was those sorts of characters.
Yeah.
But in the mid '60s, they basically passed their own version of the Immigration Act, their own version of the civil rights stuff, and basically wrote things like racism into law and things like that, which is kind of hidden. Like nobody really talks about that over this side, but Hitchens goes into it all in. He's got a book called The Abolition of Liberty, or A Brief History of Crime. And he kind of goes into a lot of that legislation that was put in the mid '60s. It's kind of weird because a lot of this is why I talk about the gay, as we call it. There's this weird harmony between the Western nations, because I think France had their version of it in the mid '60s as well. So yeah, something that somebody wants to do a project one day, they can look at harmonization of civil rights bullshit across the West. Anyway, shall we have a look at another stream, D? Another video. I think we've reached the 60s. A date for dinner. Is that right? D? I think I've lost D. Hello? I think I've lost him. Press 1, chat. I don't know what's going on. Okay. All right. I don't know what happened there. D's obviously been detained, so I'll just stop. I'll just start another video. Let's do date for dinner.
Hello.
D, you're back.
Sorry, yeah, back.
Yeah, I'm 28 seconds into the next video, which is it's called Date for Dinner.
Yeah.
28 seconds in.
Okay. Hang on. Let me get there. Okay, are you paused?
I'm paused, and there's this man about to make a coffee or something.
Okay. Oh, he's making a telephone call.
Oh,
Okay,
telephone
ready?
call.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Yes, telephone call. Sorry. Look, it's that crew cut again, D.
Is Linda there?
A handsome young fellow with a crew cut
Is
in
this
an
Miss
apron.
Taylor? Well, I'm Eddie Williams. Say, do you know where I can reach her? I've called 3 times and she hasn't been home. Central 6 0842. I've got it. Thanks a lot, Miss Taylor. Bye-bye.
Oh,
Is this the girl? Okay.
girls, but the Bobby Soxers, as they were called.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, I told Mom, if he isn't going to tell her who he is, I'm certainly not going to wait for whoever he is.
A lot of
to
apples
call again.
consumed in the film today.
Yes.
Hello? Oh?
Oh, hi, Linda. This is Eddie Williams. Boy, are you hard to get a hold of. Called you 3 times last week.
I didn't know you were calling. You never left your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to know if you'd like to go out to dinner with me Saturday.
Saturday? Saturday? This Saturday?
Well, yeah, that is if you're not busy.
Oh, I
You could
love
make it
these
some other
this
time.
era of these phones.
No, I'm not busy.
These are good phones.
I'd love to go.
Swell. Pick you up about 7 then?
Swell. Gee whiz.
Gee whiz.
Goodbye.
Gee willikers. Look at the glow of satisfaction. Whoop.
Yes,
Oh.
sir.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Get
Rowan
back to-
Atkinson.
Get back to
But
work.
I've never been out on a dinner date before. I'm just scared to death. Why? You know, check rooms and waitresses and ordering and it's
Can I just say that this girl would be about 20 stone
know I'll
today,
do
D?
everything wrong.
Without doubt.
Eddie will never ask
There are
She's on-
quite a dearth of fat people in these.
Not for
I
you.
mean, she's
If I had
kind
a
of,
phone, I'd know
you
how to
know,
act too.
Linda, the restaurant's closed on Mondays.
I just think she'd be a lot fatter if she was around today.
And we'll ask her about
Well,
all
I
the
mean,
things
most
that are
people
bothering you. Besides,
Also,
the folks
I
are
mean,
going
these
out, so this'll
no,
be
for
sort of
1960,
fun.
these
Come on over
she-
after
they
dinner.
would have been upper middle class. They have a television in the kitchen, which
Yes.
fairly unusual, you know. What kind of like the chairs? Look, Kleenex tissues. I think that this is secretly sponsored by someone because I saw Kleenex in the other shot as well.
Jerry!
Well, hi, Linda.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Well,
You
hi,
staying
Jerry.
home for a
Hi,
change?
Linda.
Well, I'm always home, you know that.
I like that shirt jumper combo. I've always liked shirt jumper combos, D.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Indeed.
I like them. I like them on girls though.
Oh, I see. I like the sculptured hair as well.
You remember my friend Linda Taylor?
That box
Why,
of
yes, how do you do,
that
Linda?
box
I'm
of
happy to
tissues
see you.
is
Thank you,
too
Mrs. Jefferson.
conspicuous.
It's nice to
This
see
is
you
definitely
again.
some sort
I
of
understand you have a
subversive
big
product
date
placement.
Saturday.
Yes, I do.
And Kathy tells me you're a little upset.
Well...
See, I missed
Oh,
the beginning.
Linda,
Some
there's really no
Dr.
need to be
Previs
upset
said
over
it's
how
a
you should act.
multinational manufacturer of
May I
paper
ask you something?
products. This
Sure,
film
Mrs.
the
Jefferson.
sponsor.
Were you self-conscious when Jerry helped you with your coat?
Golly, no. He always
Golly,
no.
when he's here.
And because you're comfortable with
Look,
him,
there's
you're not
more
self-conscious.
Kleenex products
Kleenex
in that
is
room.
it's definitely product placement. Kleenex.
The whole room is filled with them.
Jerry.
Is she gonna have to? There's gonna be crying.
Well, there's
She's gonna
the
have to
secret right
reach
there,
for a
Linda.
tissue.
The more often
Could be
you
something
do
else that
something,
goes on
the easier it is.
that they need Kleenex for.
Oh
What we're going to do is practice right here
no!
with you, Kathy,
Oh
and Jerry.
no!
First, we'll set
Yeah,
the
the
table.
young man is
I'll
certainly
need
gonna
your
have a
help,
box of
Kathy.
those in his
You get
room.
the placemats, and Jerry, you get the menus. They're in the living room.
Yeah, get the menus, Jerry. We always have a menu, don't we?
Let's practice from the beginning now. This will be the hat check stand. You take over there, Kathy. And
Oh, I
Linda,
see, they're
you and Jerry put your
practicing the
coats on and
date.
enter from the kitchen.
Yeah. I like some of this incidental furniture and stuff though. By the way.
Oh
Kinda
yeah,
like
me too.
I like the 1960s style. You know.
Yeah, me too.
The gentleman holds the door for the girl and lets her precede him into the restaurant. They both go to the hat check stand where it is proper, if the girl desires, for her to check her coat. Or she can keep her coat and drape it over her chair back after she is seated.
See, this is good. People need this
At
today.
the entrance of the
Yeah.
dining
Training
room
for how to do a
hostess
date.
guide you to your table.
Yeah. Well, we
The
laughed at
hostess
the
goes first,
how to buy
then
food,
the
but I
girl,
mean, they need
and the
that
man
today.
follows.
You know,
You
they
know
they
the
need
hostess
films
will
to
indicate
teach
the
them
chair
how to
that
do
provides the most
to do
desirable view
everything.
for the girl.
I mean, our Scottish friend, Columba, could do with this.
Slip your chair up to the table.
Yeah, that's
Still
exactly
too
who
far
I was
away from the
thinking of,
table,
Columba,
rise
you know.
slightly
Yeah.
so we can push the chair
I mean, he
closer.
wants to be an
Don't just
18th
plop
century
in the chair and
romantic
expect to
poet,
lift
but
you
he's
and
got to
the
learn
chair
how
to
to,
the
like,
table.
you know,
He may not be a
have dinner
weightlifter.
first. Look, the
restaurant will
proper,
provide more silver than you usually find on your dinner
you
table
know,
at home. And its
tableware.
place will more or less work from the outside in toward your plate as the
Indeed.
courses are served.
Do you know what a
There
soup
is
spoon?
usually a soup spoon,
Yeah.
a coffee spoon, and a dessert spoon. Then a butter knife.
Mrs. A
and
would be
knife
all
to
over
cut
this,
your
by the way,
meat.
Dee. She loves all this shit.
Now on the
Yeah,
other
me too.
side, you have your salad fork and your regular fork.
Your dinner fork, yeah.
Naturally,
Al-
you will carry a small purse.
Although, why is there
easily in
only
your
one
lap
glass?
because you
There needs
never
to be a
put your
water
purse on the
glass,
table.
there needs to be a red wine glass, a white
You
wine
immediately
glass.
unfold your table napkin, not all the way, just half.
Oh, they wouldn't have wine because they're teenagers. Okay.
Then look at the menu. You will have ample time to study the menu, and you may ask about any dish that has a name you... Menus are nothing to be confused about once you become familiar with them. Notice that there are two price lists. One for
Where
a la
did they get
carte
these
and
menus?
one for table d'hote,
Hmm.
which is the complete dinner.
Ooh, what's...
The left side items, which
You
means
could work out
only
inflation
the entree
based on
portion of
these
the table
prices,
d'hote.
by the
grilled
way.
chopped steak,
friends.
The
$1.45.
entree is the main course.
1960, you could
And
work
a
out
la carte
inflation.
includes only the main course, potatoes,
God, so
salad,
where's the-
bread and butter, and sometimes a vegetable.
Where's the point of... Where's the
If you
point
order a la
voices?
carte, the appetizer, coffee, and dessert cost extra.
Ooh.
The right side of the menu is for the table d'hote. This costs more.
Top boat.
You will usually find several appetizers listed to choose from.
Prime rib
Marinated
beef.
herring.
Others
Marinated
will be
herring.
served with
Yeah, a lot of
spoons
seafood.
or
Baked
cocktail
shrimp a la
forks with which to eat
Thailand.
them. If there is no price
Prime
beside
rib
it,
of beef,
that
$3.50.
means the appetizer is included with the price of the dinner, and you choose only one. If you choose one that has a price beside it,
Tomato
the cost of it
juice.
will be added even to a complete dinner.
Bit odd.
After the appetizer, the waitress will bring soup. Soup du jour, translated literally, means soup of the day. And it's perfectly all right to ask
So
what
hungry,
is
Dee.
the soup du jour. You might not want to order soup if it's a kind you don't care for.
Really hungry.
Oh.
After choosing your entree or meat course, you will have a choice of salad dressings.
There's
So
your
make up
salad
your
and
mind whether you want
iceberg
French,
lettuce
oil and vinegar,
drizzled in
garlic, or
bottled
Roquefort.
dressing with two
Avoid using a knife
flavourless
to cut your salad.
tomatoes.
It's preferable to use a fork.
No,
I
that's
feel like
that's
more effort
miserable.
could have gone into that salad.
You also have
Yeah,
a choice
miserable
of vegetables.
salad. The worst.
And you will be asked how you want your potatoes. Usually baked, whipped, French fried, or cottage fried.
Cottage.
You cut one bite-sized portion of meat and finish eating it before cutting more. If there is gravy left and you would like to eat it, you may do so by putting a small piece of bread down on the gravy and then eating it with your fork, as if it were
No,
any other helping
shovel
on
it
your
in.
plate.
Pick the plate up, shovel it in. Oh, look, there's your flat white.
Most people prefer to wait and have coffee with their dessert.
For flat whites had not been invented yet.
Coffee,
In,
be sure to put the spoon on the saucer. It's bad manners to leave your spoon in the cup. The same rule applies after you have finished your dessert, if it is the kind served in a sherbet dish, which has its own serving plate, like ice cream, fruit, or gelatin.
Gelatin.
Your escort will give your order to the waitress, and a well-trained waitress seldom if ever asks the girl a direct question. If she should, however,
That's interesting,
common
isn't
decency
it?
demands
It's
that
not
she
interesting.
Yeah, that's true. It's true as well. Yeah.
Our oil and
Bit.
vinegar has a little garlic in it. Will that be all right? Oh, well, I'll have the French dressing then.
2 with French dressing.
That garlic is a bit too
After
wild.
the waitress takes your
Too
order,
wild.
she leaves. In the meantime, you might like to have one of the rolls the waitress or busboy brought when you first sat down.
Yeah, fill up on the bread.
Always break off a small portion of the roll. Butter and eat that before breaking off more.
Oh,
You
here's
never
how
cut a
we
roll
got
with
here's
your
how we
knife.
got 30 stone women. That's how we get it.
And if an
Whoop.
accident occurs, it's not the end of the world. Anyone can have this happen. If you drop something, you just leave the item on the floor and let one of the restaurant employees
She's
pick
just
it
like
up
a
later.
fucking flid, just throwing forks on the floor.
In the
and
meantime, your escort will wait until your waitress
That's
is
true
within
though,
easy
exactly.
hearing
If you
distance
go
to
to a
say,
decent restaurant, you don't pick up something, you drop
We
it.
dropped a fork here. Could we have another one, please?
Of course, sir.
At no
And
time
if it's a
should he
really
raise his
good
voice or
restaurant,
tap
they
a
should
glass with
notice that
silverware to
immediately
attract her
and
attention.
deal
Yes.
and
Do
deal
you
with
know
it.
what I
Right?
wish they'd have at
Can't locate the
all
waitress.
restaurants, not just
The
the top
hostess
ones,
will
do?
notice and come to
Is
help.
the little guy who comes along with the scraping, like they'll scrape the crumbs off the table.
Oh, the crummer, yeah.
Yeah, I want that. I want. In fact, I'd employ someone to just do it
staining the table
round
napkin
the
with
house. You know, I like
Yeah.
that.
Do not refold the napkin. Simply place it unfolded beside your plate. Although
Yeah.
a minimum of makeup repair
Kleenex!
is permitted at the
It's
table,
got Kleenexes
your
in.
date probably would prefer to confine all face fixing to the powder room.
Yeah,
In
go
which
to the
case
powder
say,
room, you savage.
Excuse me, please.
Sure.
I think even girls today would know to do that.
Yeah.
Your escort will take care of the check, leaving a tip for the waitress equal to perhaps 15% of the bill.
You're going to get scowls if you just do 15% these days.
He does not tip the hat check girl until you retrieve your coats.
Yeah.
Then he may leave 15 cents or so for each coat.
15 cents. I love it.
That's all there is to it, Linda. Easy as
See, you're just saying that this is useless banality. I disagree, Dee. I think it's. I think that a lot of people today wouldn't know any of this stuff.
No. I mean, if you grow up in a, if you grow up when I did, you would have this enforced at home, but a lot of people don't learn this. So certainly, if you have aspirations of, having proper manners and conducting things, in a proper way, then you need to learn it from somewhere.
Hello? Eddie, how did you know I was home? Oh, well, wherever you want to go is all right with me.
But also in terms of what the man's meant to do and what the woman's meant to do.
Oh, golly,
Yeah.
I'd love to go. I'll be ready.
Although I think feminists would say it's outdated, outmoded.
Outmoded. Well,
Dated.
everyone would say, just let it all hang, just be Lizzo, just be.
Let it all hang out,
Yeah,
do your makeup at the table and
bloated fat woman, at the table. If you have to belch, yeah, disgusting.
all right. So,
Ugh.
how many more do you want to do, Dee?
I don't know. I would do a couple more. I really want to do the British ones, and then I want to do one of the mental sort of 70s ones or the 80s one if you want.
Do you want to do national parks or the industrial town?
Up to you.
I'm kind of drawn to the industrial town. So we've been all in America so far.
Okay.
Or do you want to have a look at this Muslims in Cardiff thing?
Well, we could just put it on, and then you could. You said you had sort of an anecdote.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of stuff to say about this because Cardiff has had a let's just say a significant Asian population for quite a long time, and I'd be fascinated just to see what they looked like in 1961 and what Cardiff looked like. I know Cardiff pretty well because obviously it was the biggest. We could either go to Swansea or Cardiff, right? When I was a kid, and Cardiff was usually quite a treat for me, But let's see what it looked like in 1961.
Yeah, we'll watch some of this. I don't think we can watch all of it. I mean,
keep
in
not
mind
all 18 minutes, but
no,
it,
not all 18 minutes. Also, it's in Arabic. I mean, people will be amazed about this. This is a film from 1961, and it's called Moslems, spelled Moslems, as it used to be, Muslims in Britain, Cardiff, 1961. So if anyone thinks that this is just like a new situation, it isn't. All right.
So yes, let us get up Muslims in Cardiff from 1961.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Okay.
Started out subtle there, didn't they?
الله أكبر الله أكبر على هذا الدين الحنيف الذي نزل على محمد فملأ الدنيا خيرا ونورا.
This is going to be the big reveal, D. They're in Cardiff. We're going to pan down and we're in Cardiff.
الذي هاجر نبيه المصطفى وسافر لينشر أصوله وتعاليمه فسن للمسلمين
This is weird.
السفر والهجرة.
Yeah, it's a bit nasty, isn't it?
I don't remember seeing any Arabic footage from the 60s, so this is kind of a very unusual for me.
Yeah.
سلام الله عليكم من كارديف. كارديف عاصمة ويلز. كارديف الميناء الذي يسكنه إخوان لنا في الإسلام. إخوان يعيشون في تلك المدينة لا عيشة المهاجر بل عيشة المواطن، وها أنا ذا على أبوابها. ما على سيارتي الآن إلا أن تحملني إلى المصنع الذي يعمل فيه الشيخ.
Can AA translate?
There's the
Yeah.
I can't speak Arabic. I mean,
في هذه الشوارع الواسعة بعد أن قطعت
Oh,
حوالي 200
look at what they
كيلومتر
took
من
from you.
لندن للقاء هذا
I mean, the Cardiff Castle looks the same as it does now. Obviously,
ها هو الصديق الشيخ سعيد.
this is unusual though, D, because I'm not aware of any Arabic population of Cardiff. They're much more likely to be Pakistanis and things like that, rather than Arabic.
وايه العلاقه بين اليمن وكارديف؟ على كل حال كان والدي يشتغل في البحار بحار. كان بحار. نعم.
No, these are not Iranians. And no, they're not speaking Welsh.
No, they're not. They're speaking Arabic, and do you know which country this comes from?
It's I believe it's British. This production. I don't know who produced it.
British in Arabic, though.
Let me see if I can find out who produced it.
How mysterious.
Yeah, I thought it was quite strange. It's why I included it.
It's from like the division that employed John Bagot Glubb to like lead the Arab Legion. You know, it's gonna.
Maybe he'll pop up.
وتؤدي الصلاة في أثناء العمل ولا بعد العمل؟ لا على كل حال غير ممكن أن أديها في العمل وإنما عندما أعود الدار البيت.
He's the presenter, this dude. The guy with a moustache.
طيب في جالية كبيرة عربية.
Who's this for? I mean, clearly you're saying it was a British production, but how many people could speak Arabic in like 1960? Even today, how many British people can speak Arabic?
So it was produced by United Motion Pictures for the Central Office of Information, which is the British, which was the British film government film division. So,
who was the intended audience for it?
I suppose Muslims. I don't know.
This is very odd, D. I mean, this must have. I mean, where was this video? I'd love to know. They obviously produced it for an audience. Were they playing this in parts of the empire as it existed at the time to say, "Come to Cardiff, it's great here, Arabs," or what?
I wonder. Yeah, that may have been what it was for.
Very interesting, eh?
Yeah. It's very strange.
They don't speak Arabic in Pakistan, do they? Because there's a street. The reason I know this is that there's this particular street down Cardiff where there's this kind of ethnic food store called Claire's, and it was the only place my dad could get this certain herb. So sometimes we used to go down there, and I always remember that it was all like every street, basically, all the people who live there in that area for many years has been, let's just say, an ethnic minority. Moose.
Yeah, there's lots of different languages spoken there. Punjabi, Pashto, Sindhi, Urdu. Yeah.
But they're not Arabic.
But they're not Arabic, no. Yeah. If the official language is Urdu, so Pakistan. But this is Arab. These are Arab.
This guy's name is Muhammad Ali.
Is it?
He said, "What's your?" I'm pretty sure he said, "What's your name?" He's like, "My name's Muhammad Ali."
Yeah, it's a very common name. Yeah. For Saracens.
Trying to figure out where these guys. It's obscure though as to where they're from.
Yeah, I mean they may be saying where they're from.
But if I had to guess, I think the guy looks Egyptian, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, the presenter looks certain. I think he looks Egyptian.
The presenter's got an Egyptian. I learned a lot about the different ethnicities of Arabs from John Paget Glubb.
From Glubb, yeah.
Yeah, because he's got like a whole book just saying, going through all the like really minute specific. He was saying like the Saudi Arabians are like basically have nothing in common with the Egyptians whatsoever.
No.
Which is like a different race, pretty much, according to him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is what's so difficult about the kind of the Muslim world is that there's hundreds of different designations. You know, they're just not a united people. You know.
Yeah, I mean, this is Glubb's argument that they, you know, apart from the language and Islam, they're basically just different people from all over the place.
Like just hundreds of tribes.
Yeah. He also makes
even Persia's like that.
Oh yeah. Even within Iran, only about 50% of the country are Persians, versus all these other random ethnicities. Yeah. But Glubb kind of makes the case that the Saudi Arabians are almost like the kind of, you know, like in kind of racialist literature, that there's a kind of gradation between different types of whites, you know, with Aryans at the top and like Slavs down the bottom or whatever. There's like an Arab version of that, according to Glubb, where the Saudi Arabians are kind of they're like the pure Arabs, and like the Egyptians and Lebanese and all this sort of stuff, that they are degraded or whatever. They're not proper Arabs, according to Glubb.
So this is a mosque in Cardiff in
1961.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. The Noor ul Islam Mosque in Cardiff. I must have somebody who watches who can speak Arabic, who can get the lowdown on what the hell this video is about.
Yeah.
Like, who's it for? Why is it being made?
Amazing glasses.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what the locals thought of this in 1960.
I was wondering about that. What are the lads at Cardiff boat building? What do they think of this? What are the coal? What are the coal haulers?
All right, shall we go to a different one? I think we get the idea here. It's just bizarre. And look, there he is talking to local dignitaries, and wonder what he's saying. He's just like, you know, that scene in Scarface, right, where Al Pacino's like, you know, Tony Montana says, America's just one big pussy waiting to get fucked. Do you think he's just like telling the Arabic community, he's just like, listen, they haven't fucking got a clue. Just come in, you'll make bank. You know, their leaders are stupid. They don't keep out foreigners. Just fucking come here. Do you think that's what he's saying? I mean, I get the impression that's what's going on here.
I wonder.
There's something deeply sinister about this video. Like, the very fact that it exists at all, it seems to be like a tourist information thing, geared towards an Arabic audience to come to Cardiff.
So I'm just skimming through, and he's talking to a white woman, but I don't know who that is. She's wearing a chain.
Yeah, she's obviously the mayor of Cardiff.
Was there a lady mayor of Cardiff in 1961? Okay.
Look. I mean, they're literally just like full on like towels and.
Yeah. Oh no. Is that a pub?
Look at this shot here. He's saying like, you know, you too could bring your entire family.
Your entire family. Yeah, and look, it's a classroom full of little Muslims. Although it's coeducational, which is quite odd. That's the Angel Hotel. But this is odd.
You're saying this was sponsored by the British government?
It was produced for the Office of Information, Central Office of Information, which is the British Film Division at that time, British Government Film Division at that time.
You know what's really weird is that we've seen basically no Welsh people in the entirety of this video, apart from that woman that he met.
Well, there's a brief thing where he goes. It looks like he goes into a pub, and there's like a very Welsh-looking woman. But yeah, that's it. There's no Welsh people.
Look, he doesn't meet any locals or be like, oh, you know, there's like an overhead. I remember there was a Wimpy here somewhere. This is the bus stop in Cardiff. That building is still there, or it was last time I went to Cardiff. And there's a Wimpy in this building, yeah, there's a Wimpy there somewhere. You can get one of those like bendy sausage burgers there.
On a plate. Yeah. Someone must speak Arabic amongst your audience who can look at this.
He doesn't speak to any locals.
If you go to archive.org, I believe you can find this. If you just look up Cardiff Moslems, Moslems, you will find it. And
so in 1961, there was a classroom in Cardiff that looked like this.
Yeah, it was happening long before people thought it was happening. I'm telling you.
I mean, I wonder what they were teaching them.
I wonder.
There he is again. Look, there he is again. Look, you know.
They're all boys, by the way. I thought there were girls in there, but oh no, that is a girl.
Okay, so let's carry on. That was unusual, very unusual.
Yeah, I thought it was odd.
So let us have a look now at an industrial town in Britain from 1962.
Okay.
Pull that one up.
Yep.
And 3, 2, 1, and go. Keep an eye on the names, Steve. An eye on the names. We're in Britain, though, so much less likely here, I would say.
Yeah.
Once you're across this massive viaduct, you're in Huddersfield, in the north of England. It's neither old and charming, nor bright and new, for this is an industrial town, a product of the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century. It's a place where time is marked by the sound of the factory hooter. And in the mornings, the busiest roads are those which lead to the textile mills and to the engineering works.
Hooter.
Some of the firms have gone on from generation to generation, employing the same families. A relationship which has helped to mold the district into a closely knit community.
By the way, to the audience, all of this is gone. All of it.
I was about to say what he just said was based on Trumped and Pilled, very great chain of being. This.
Yes, but it's all been broken.
Is Huddersfield just a wreck now? Is it?
Yeah,
women have always worked in the textile mills, and millions of yards of fine woolen fabrics have gone streaming out of their hands to almost every part of the world.
Wood.
Stop it! Stop it!
They are quick at finding minor faults.
I mean, these were days when all your fabric was personally stroked by a woman.
Before it passes to the men at the steam press.
Yeah, men, pass to the men. Time Stealer's grandmother there.
Soon, this material will be on its way to places.
The whole country was built on textiles, originally, you know.
Montreal.
Yeah, certainly was. And it's all gone because of the base Tories who decided to sell the country off. It made them more money to sell it all off.
Raw in the valleys, but the town has the good fortune to be on the edge of some fine country.
Nice.
A sharp walk will bring you to the hills of hard rock, where the stone walls firmly bind the landscape, unbroken and continuous to the last wilderness.
Now
and where the
completely
birds
covered
still
with
go
wind,
crying in the empty
windfall.
air, as they did before the Romans came.
Just think, Barrett Holmes can cover all of this for all the dinos and all of the New Britons.
Yeah.
Only coarse grass, which sheep can feed on, can grow on these hills. This country is rich in springs and streams, and you're scarcely ever out of sound of falling water. The water is free from lime.
Who
wonderfully
ever
soft,
thought that you
good
could
for
watch a
washing
film
wool
about
and dyeing.
Huddersfield in
So the
1961
people in this region
and feel
began to weed
nostalgic?
class for sale.
Now,
First of all,
now the
in
BBC
their own
voiceover
homes.
will be telling you the countryside is
Through the long
racist.
upper windows
Suddenly.
could be
Like
heard
literally,
the thud
I'm
of
not
the
even
treadles
joking.
and the clack
No,
of the shop.
they do.
The sound of the weaver at his loom. Plenty of water, plenty of power. And so factories sprang up, and trade flourished. With the coming of steam power, factories moved to the towns. As the textile industry prospered, it became more mechanized and encouraged the growth of engineering. The products of the local engineering industries are now well known throughout the world. Electric motors, tractors,
And was
gears,
Jerusalem
and
builded
chemicals.
here amongst these
See,
dark?
see, there's something
satanic
about this
souls?
kind of heavy industry I quite like, the heavy industry.
Yeah, well,
Having many kinds of industries has meant
any
plenty of
industry.
jobs. Oh yes, the people of Huddersfield are shrewd, hard-working, and fiercely independent. But they have a natural gaiety and a zest for pleasure. Today, their way of life is gradually changing. The rows of little back-to-back houses and narrow streets are giving way to modern blocks of flats.
No!
And estates.
No! For God's sake!
Industry is still a grimy business, but the strict control of heavy smoke from factory chimneys is helping towards cleaner and brighter
Have you ever seen the
surroundings.
documentary Who Cares, Dee? Made by that.
There is sparkle and laughter
It's
in the
really
eyes
worth a
of
watch.
children at play.
It's
No.
about exactly the program to pull down all the old Victorian houses and replace them with those monstrosities. that we just
No,
saw.
I haven't seen it. Oh,
It's
God.
it's only 17 minutes long, but it's a classic. Everybody should watch it. We wouldn't be able to watch it on here because of copyright, obviously. But,
Yeah, I will look
he's
into
the
it.
documentary maker he made that Nirvana documentary years later.
Shopping is easy. The town abounds with shops and stores, not all of which are confined to the main streets.
I saw a Panama hat ancestor. Oh.
I just love watching this stuff, Dee. I love it. I just
I
can't
know.
get enough of watching it.
Take a side turning almost anywhere off the main road, and it's almost bound to bring you to the market. The lure of the market is strong, even in the rain. Between tablecloths and towels at one extreme,
Look,
and
it's a
carpets
carpet
at the other,
merchant.
are rows and rows of drapery, boots and shoes.
You see, this is a real living culture.
Yeah.
Bargaining here
Even
is
though it was
warm,
industrial, Dee, even though
earthy,
it was industrial and capitalist and so on, it was still an actual culture.
Yeah.
The afternoon wind skirls
Oh,
across
Wedgwood,
the canvas roofs
look.
of the stalls
Yep.
and loosens itself among the factory chimneys. It dies down a little here, where there's a group of secondary modern schools.
Yeah.
These schools were opened in 1956 by Princess Margaret, and there are places for about 2,500 children up
Princess
to the
Margaret
age
in
of 15.
1956.
Here, as elsewhere, they can prepare to meet the needs of a technical age unknown to their grandparents. In addition to general academic subjects, the children are taught many of the crafts essential to this modern age, including pottery.
Yeah, that'll come in handy.
No, I think it's wonderful. Look, white British boys learning how to
Yes.
throw pots. That's
No,
very
I'm just saying the idea that pottery would come in handy in the future is.
Oh, in the future, yeah.
Seems a bit
Later
ridiculous
education
from our
is
vantage
provided at the
point.
Huddersfield College of Technology. This is one of the largest institutions for further education outside London.
Do you know I love that foreman's jacket? You
As well as
see,
looking after
don't
the
really see
children,
those.
Huddersfield helped
They had them a
dispose
lot in the
of.
60s.
It was one of the first towns to provide home
Yeah,
and work
those
for those beyond the
those sort
retiring
of
age.
tan
There's a
coloured.
splendid scheme called the Workshop for the Elderly. And here you see some of the old people doing small but useful tasks for local industries.
Amazing. No, now they're sealed away in a care home and
Evening
neglected
papers.
until they die.
And time for home. Home is not very far away, for Huddersfield is not a big, sprawling town like London, for example. In less than half an hour, a worker can walk again on home ground and leave behind the bustle of industry for the quiet of his private world of suburban houses and gardens and a meal with the family.
Interested to
And
see
then
what
the
Huddersfield
evening
looks like
begins.
now, D.
With a fast set of tennis, perhaps. Or a quiet game of bowls.
Bowls.
Or a round of golf. For many, there's nothing better than watching a game played by the Huddersfield Town Football Club
the
on their home
football.
ground. A good match, clean, fast, and exciting.
Well, and of course, this was the era where all the footballers would be from Huddersfield, you know.
Did you hear a
Yes.
local man say that his son was born with
No,
a cricket bat in one
even the
hand
Premiership football sides were originally
in the other? You know
teams
he's
for
joking.
factories and things like that.
Yeah.
Too.
But you also
Uh-oh.
know that he's expecting a local prize
Here's where we're going to
both
get.
in Yorkshire cricket and
Isn't
in
this the music
Huddersfield
that was
Choral Society.
the Liverpool Philharmonic is going to play
Oh
Handel's
yes,
Messiah?
yes. We need to talk over this bit a lot.
Yeah.
Sort of turn it down or whatever.
Or you could just mute it, you know.
The choir, which is known and admired throughout
Oh,
the
da, da,
world,
da.
has been in existence
What are
for
they
over
doing?
100 years.
We have to turn it down because it could get copyrighted.
And the glory of the Lord will be redeemed. Yeah, they're doing Glory of the Lord from Handel's Messiah, but shall be redeemed. Yeah,
Music
for God's
was
sake.
conceived in burning conviction, and it expresses something that is fundamental in the makeup of these
See, these little boys that we're seeing here would have been teenagers in the 70s. It's kind of strange to think about how they would have been.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, probably pensioners now.
Oh yeah, just entering. They'd be about 60 now, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But if this was 1961, they'd have been born in when 58 or something. Yeah, maybe 65, something like that.
Yeah. Crown copyright. Oh dear. Well, that's depressing.
I enjoyed watching it, but yeah, it was sad.
Yeah. As these things are always sad.
Pull
up a picture of Huddersfield today. Let's just have a.
Yeah, I'm
glance.
interested to have a look at like Huddersfield. I'll just type it in, see what comes up. I see a lot of results about the football. Here are some pictures of Huddersfield town centre and as it exists. I mean, I think it's probably had a bit of European money in it at some point, if I had to guess. But here it is. That's the train station.
Yeah.
Millions of pounds have been poured into Huddersfield as an investment surge. You know.
Yeah.
So
I would suspect that almost all of those industries have gone.
Yeah, and now it's like, you know, go to a Cafe Nero and
yeah,
it's the same as every other bloody town.
And yeah, an empty, deracinated corporate high street with you know.
It's still got the market there. Still there,
Yeah.
I guess. But yes, I mean it's
you know,
you know,
COVID probably killed it.
there's an overhead shot. Some overhead shots of it. So
Yeah. It could be worse.
you know, it's not looking as you see a lot of these former industrial towns have gone under this kind of, I guess I'd call it like globo homo renovation.
Yeah.
Where you basically take the kind of decrepit husk of it and you just stuff it full of like cafes. It's basically it, you know.
Yeah, or some sort of like half-baked arts program. I mean, all of that, like, again, that bit about, you know, the tight-knit community and all of these sort of local tradition. I mean, all of that is gone, I'm sure, you know, or mostly gone. Yeah, look, there's a subway. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can see. I mean, yeah, it's just like everywhere. I mean, just the whole country's like that now.
Yeah, it's just anywhere, wherever you go. It's just
anywhere in the country is the same.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Well, it's you know,
homogenization.
It worked in America, and it certainly worked in Britain.
So, you know, I'd still like to. I've never really been to that part of the country properly. Evidence of a Huddersfield grooming ring has not been followed up, apparently. So,
what a surprise!
Brilliant. You know, there's the University of Huddersfield, where you can become one of these characters if you'd like.
Wonderful. Well, wonder when the Huddersfield Pride Parade is.
There's I mean, this could be anywhere. The point I'm making is it's just like, well, the whole country is just that over and over again.
Yeah, well, that's the dream, you know. Every 15-minute city will be like every other 15-minute city. You won't need to go anywhere, because anywhere you go will be just like where you came from.
Where's our videos from people living in, I don't know, Dubai or something? Come and live in Dubai. Get away from all of this. You know, we need our version of it. But then again, if you actually do go to Dubai, those places are just as soulless. You know,
they're worse. I hate that. I hate
one of the worst places I've ever been, to be honest. Dubai.
Yeah, I mean, Dubai is awful. All of those cities.
There's just no culture anywhere.
Disgusting. You know, again, that just obscene sort of like low class luxury that, you know, that everyone yearns for. And also, like, half of Dubai is just like Instagram hookers going there to be shat on by Saudi princes.
Most of the country is just like low level servants and things like that. Yeah, I've only been there. I think I went there with work once, and we did like this kind of cruise thing where we stopped off at different places, and Dubai was one of the stops that we stopped in at. And I always remember my dad refused to set foot on it. He was like, I will not touch Dubai soil for some reason. He just wouldn't get off the ship. So anyway, one more, and then we get out of here. Do you think? I don't think we're going to make it to the 70s, D.
What have we got left? Tell me what we've got left.
Well, we've got by the same people looking at Britain national parks.
Oh, national parks, right?
Yeah, so which is, I think those two films were made together by the looks of things.
Yes.
And then we've basically just got a leap into the 70s. So I'm wondering if we could keep all the 70s ones for a 70s show, maybe. Drugs Are Like That, and If Mirrors Could Speak, and Alone at Home.
Alone at Home is actually it's 1983, so it's you know,
even I was actually alive.
You were actually alive, and you will recognize. I mean, even though it's American, I think you will certainly recognize that world. But
my feel is that because let's face it, we're going to come back to. In a couple of weeks, I'll be like, "What should we do?" And
yeah, probably. All right, let's do national parks.
Yeah, and then thematically we'll just be like 50s and 60s, and then we'll do 70s and 80s next time. So,
yeah, and I mean, all of the 70s and 80s things are absolutely cursed. So just cursed beyond your imagination. I mean, you remember we watched a few. Do you remember that film with like Turnip with the briefcase and the song about the itty bitty titty committee? And
yes.
Yeah. Or do you remember the one where the children with wearing masks on bikes and they all like die?
Yes. Base.
Yeah,
No, I kind of I enjoyed the 70s ones. They're a very different vibe, though, aren't they?
They are, and who could forget Apaches? You know,
Apaches is awesome.
Great.
Absolutely
Okay.
awesome. All right, so we've got 3, 2, 1, and go.
Kinocrat film. Racist.
Britain is a busy, crowded island, and as more and more houses and factories are built, it becomes increasingly important to keep unspoiled the beauty and peace of the countryside, so that people can escape from the noise and smoke of the cities.
Quite right too.
Yeah.
Parliament foresaw this need and decided that large areas of still unspoiled countryside should be marked out as national parks to protect the landscape beauty for public enjoyment. National parks now cover nearly 1/11 of the area of England and Wales, and each of them has a character and beauty all its own. Everyone is welcome to visit these great national parks, and young people in particular like to spend their holidays roving through this open countryside on foot or on their bicycles, staying each night at one of the youth hostels which have been set up for them.
Oh, Snowdon! Yes. Are they going to ride their bicycles up Snowdon? Oh, he's a chunky fellow.
Yeah, I was just thinking he's quite a chunky lad, that one.
Snowdonia in North Wales is one of the grandest of all the parks. Here, clear mountain lakes reflect the outlines of the mountain ranges which surround them, until a swimmer splashes that reflection into 1,000 ripples.
I like that someone took the time to write that poetically.
Where summer courses are organized in several popular open-air activities. Beyond the swimming class, boating enthusiasts gather to revel in the sun and the scenery while they learn to practice the delicate skill of managing a canoe.
Do you think health and safety was put stop to all this now, Dee? Be like, you're not allowed on the river, not allowed to jump in.
Probably. But they're all wearing life vests, we will notice.
Yes.
Oh, he's going in. Yeah. I don't care if it's summer, that water is quite cold. I also detect a slight hint of a subversive jazz soundtrack.
Yes, and a bit of
there are classes for beginners who still need to learn.
There's a bit of that faint American tone of triumphalism in it all. Do you know what I mean? Especially compared to the industrial one we just watched.
Yeah, exactly. It's very different. Very different feeling.
I feel like there should be an American voiceover trying to sell me something, you know?
Yeah, Kleenex.
Kleenex, yeah.
Below the climbers, city dwellers normally accustomed to buses and cars, now feel the wind blowing past their ears and the springy thud of their horses' hooves as they trek along a rough...
By the way, Twitter has just ruined my brain, Dee, because now all I can think of is she orgasming? Is she orgasming? Is she orgasming?
Oh,
because, I mean, this has been like a talking point brought up again and again. We've been claiming that horse riding gives them orgasms.
Well, looks like, is that Prince Philip? No.
We live in the ashes. you bring the ashes to wherever you go. That's the whole problem.
Yeah, you sully the past. You rub the ashes into the
You can't
past.
get it's like like in Faustus, Mephistopheles tells him, "I'm wherever I go, I'm in hell." It's not like you can just escape, you know.
Why, this is hell, nor am I out of it. Yeah,
Exactly.
Think you that one who saw the face of God and tasted the everlasting bliss? Yeah.
These two enjoy feeling tough and
Oh yeah, I should have.
They will sleep
Tuesday,
well in
Effie
their
Tuesday. I
tent,
should have.
and even
I
a
should have
burnt
done that.
breakfast tastes good,
No thanks.
eaten beside
Snorts
your own
Black Goblin.
campfire.
What do they do? Oh, they got their little cans.
When they take down their tent and move on, they will, like these campers, think of other people and take care to leave
Sugar
their
puffs.
site tidy and free from litter, so that no mark of their
Your
stay is
giant
left behind.
box of sugar puffs.
Don't do it. Revolt against the modern world.
No, look at these lads. Oh, yeah. Like the Volkswagen.
Yeah, people notice
the
it's
Snowdonia
Quaker Oats,
National
man.
Park
They make sugar
takes
puffs.
its name from the greatest mountain in England and Wales, set amid scenery of
I
noble
actually do
grandeur
I like
and
this
providing
soundtrack.
a challenge to all aspiring climbers and mountain walkers. Those who are too young or too inactive to climb or walk can board the little mountain railway, which chugs its way to the very summit of Snowdon.
Yeah,
the
which is
highest
still
railway station in
still
Britain
there
is
in a different
situated.
form.
Yeah.
Enid.
Time Stealer and Alex Masters are just going mental somewhere, you know.
I know. That's Enid, the little tram. They would know exactly what it is. I don't know that. I don't know my engine.
The railway travels up and down all summer long. The views from the windows are lovely, and it's a pleasant way to get to the top, leaving the more energetic travellers to reach the summit the hard way. No more cheating for them. At home, Bill and Tommy may ride in Father's car, but here they prefer to stride forward with their packs on their backs through the open landscape.
What do you think? Bill and Tommy are quite close, aren't they, Dee?
Stop it! Stop it with your acting.
Now
they
they stop for a
it's
rest
so
and
corrupting.
lean on a gate to watch the life of the countryside. For although this land is, as far as possible, safeguarded from industrial development for the enjoyment of all, it still remains the workshop of some. Those who lived here before the area became a national park still own their land, and the farmers grow their crops and tend their sheep and cattle here, as they have always done.
Beautiful.
Now, out on the lonely hillsides, Bill and Tommy find a great relic of the past. And looking down on the little town of Harlech, they see an even greater one. The castle, built hundreds of years ago when King
That little
Edward I
house,
of
Steve.
England was trying to subdue the princes of Wales. Many battles were fought here, and today, visitors like Bill and Tommy look at the castle and remember its exciting history.
The Men of Harlech.
Far below lies another authorized camping site, which the boys investigate. Sites like these stop them from camping in unsuitable places. From the mountains of the Snowdonia National Park, we move south to
Finding this very relaxing, Dee. Sorry
Yeah,
for
set this time on the borders of Somerset and Devon.
That's a Baratheon
Here,
territory.
there are no
The
mountains, but great stretches of high, wild, open moorland, clothed with grasses and patched with heather. On the tops of the open moor, there's hardly a tree to be seen, and in winter, fierce gales lash across the unsheltered land.
Stay off the moors.
This great moor looks today as it must have looked thousands of years ago. Even the wild life is little changed. The wolf and the wild boar have disappeared, but the wild red deer remain. At the edge of the moor, the countryside becomes gentler, and the land is seamed with sheltered valleys or coombes. Many are wooded, and remote farmhouses nestle amongst the trees, which protect them from the fierce winds of winter.
Not familiar with that
Visitors
word.
often spend their holidays on farms like this, walking, picnicking, and visiting the neighbouring villages.
Thatch.
Exmoor villages have a fascination.
There's still
all
quite a
their
lot of
own.
thatch in the
Lying
country,
in the valleys or
especially
half
in the
hidden amongst
Cotswolds.
the wooded slopes
Yeah.
lie Selway, Winsford, Paracombe, Wedden Cross.
It's
and
very
Hammersmith Bridge.
it's very expensive,
Artists
but
like to try their skill at capturing the atmosphere.
I think
These
legally they
villages in
have
their
to maintain it,
watercolours.
don't they? You're not allowed to
yeah,
get,
they
if
have
you've
to
got a thatch
maintain it.
roof,
I
you're
mean,
not allowed to get rid of it.
you only have to renew it. I mean, you know, it lasts quite a long time, but it's very, very expensive to have it redone. But yeah, and there's still firms that do it correctly.
That girl looked a bit like Sarah from the earlier video.
I think it's
Probably not the same girl.
Just
It'd be amazing
outside
if
the
she
ancient and charming
escaped
village of Dunster,
that
is a good
school. Like,
example
I'm
of
moving
the
to
care which is
England
taken
where
to
people are
preserve the
less
beauty
like
of every
annoying.
part of a national
they live in
park.
the Exmoor.
For the fine row of trees which lines this road serves a special purpose. In a national park, ugly necessities like this rubbish dump must be carefully hidden from sight. And special
Hide the
committees
rubbish dump.
carefully watch over all new building in the parks to make sure that it blends with the surrounding countryside and the picturesque old buildings amongst which it is set.
There's Myra Hindley going for a stroll in the moors.
Through the valleys of Exmoor run rivers, the Lynn and the Exe, Orwater and Danes Brook, the Barle and the Bray, streams that bubble and dance their way to the sea between shaded banks, over little waterfalls, and past strange relics of long ago, such as tar steps. A bridge
He's
built of
used some
stone
quite
slabs
unusual
from
words,
prehistoric
Dee, like
times,
coombe and
and now
danks.
a convenient means for the visitor to cross in search of fresh beauty.
Expansive
The
vocabulary
rivers
in
of
the script.
Exmoor are a fisherman's
Well,
paradise.
I was saying I really
What could be more
appreciate
peaceful
these
than waiting for
scripts.
the fish to bite as the water wends its way.
Never get anything like that. I like that. I like the gent fishing with his pike.
Here, at the seaside, little towns like
I
Lynmouth
will say, I do
sunbathing
think the
and friendly
country,
visitors to the national park.
in general, on
Like
balance,
all
has
English
done
seaside
a
resorts,
decent job of
Lynmouth
maintaining
offers sun
the
and fun,
countryside.
boat trips and
But like
game
everything
parks,
else, it's under attack.
bathing and dancing,
It's under
all
attack
manner
now.
of
It's under a
And when there are a
special
few
attack.
minutes to spare, people remember to buy postcards to send back to friends still working in the noisy cities, which now seem far away.
I mean, this is something that really is a big thing for me, is the idea that back then, if you wanted a picture and to remember your day, you bought one and then you took it home. Like now, no one would be living in the moment in any of these places. Everything would
taking
be
selfies.
They'd be taking things and putting them in Instagram or Twitter. Like, they wouldn't just be experiencing this; they would be documenting it. You know, so even if they were out in nature, they would be removing and mediating their experience.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
It's very unhealthy.
To relax in the freedom of the open
But I've told you before, Dee, it's a mental prison, because I've tried going without my phone. I still can't do it.
You can't do it.
No.
much to offer.
Destroyed by. I'm a pure product of the ashes.
To the satisfaction of long cross-country walks under open and sunny skies.
Oh.
And even the tiniest hiker can feel the call of the open road. All who come to enjoy the countryside
Lovely.
are guests in the countryman's home and workplace. They are on trust and have a special responsibility to do no damage, to respect private things, and to take care of the land and livestock as though it were theirs. Walkers, picnickers, and motorists follow the country code of good behavior prepared by the National Parks
There's
Commission.
Sarah enjoying her happy new life in England.
Without Ron.
Walk and ride on the open moors.
She's getting all the stimulation she needs from her Shetland pony.
Fills our crowded cities.
Orgasm.
However much our towns may grow, these national parks will ensure that there remains a haven of fresh air and peaceful beauty for all who enjoy healthy open-air recreation in superb surroundings, or find refreshment in a visit to the unspoiled countryside.
Beautiful.
Ending on a white pill.
I didn't like the music, but as some other people did like the music. I didn't like it. I thought it was
I
too
like the
American.
music, but I don't think it fit this film.
Too American, but
yeah,
in general, I liked. I find it really relaxing, actually.
Yeah, and I think the narration was well written and properly done.
We'll come back to this at some point. I don't know exactly when, but we when it's not obvious what we're going to do, we sometimes. Oh, I did have something I wanted. You said you did a stream with Red Hawk recently, right?
Yeah.
I have to share this with you because it made me laugh. It's very rare that something on Twitter makes me laugh like for a couple of minutes, but this here is incredible.
What is it?
I said live footage of Red Hawk working his magic with his next plate. Can you hear that? Have I shared my audio? Can you hear this?
Yeah.
There she is, that. look at the enthusiasm here.
God's sake.
Look. She is. You know, in wrestling, there's a term called no selling. This dude is being no sold right here.
No sold.
She just is like this is Daria face, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I admire his
play to him. Like, he's really going for it. He's really going for it. It takes some guts to do that.
It does. I mean, so it certainly gives you.
And like he's trying to.
I like also that you're revealing an Irish merchant on the side.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I would get rid of that.
Oh dear, I don't even know what that is. It was,
That's over the morning to you.
Where's that from? What was somebody put it in the chat? Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well,
okay.
I, that is a rare display of male confidence, and I think all Zoomers should learn to dance in front of women like that.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to him. I mean, you know, he gave it a go. That's all you can. That's all you can do. There has been a few super chats before we get out of here. Yes, the Eunuch says, I hope you'll all visit tonight's installment of Discordant Dragons on my channel. It's a stream like Unpopular Opinions. Tonight, my featured guests are Aiden Paladin and get this, D, Chris Gard.
No.
Live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. GMT. I have told Chris Gard that he's becoming like the stream equivalent of a cheap hooker. It's kind of like being passed around. It's just being passed around like a kind of soggy biscuit at this point.
Oh. I mean, dear God, he is very agreeable, you know.
And anyway, do watch He Is the Eunuch, a good friend of ours. She also says chat was surprised by the shopping video, but think of the time, millions of tax dollars to be made selling educational videos to school, since public education was the big new thing and part of World War II. That's a good point. She also says propaganda. Remember, society is top down. They wanted us to grow up in a frame of consumerism, so they had to train people how to think, how to shop, how to eat, etc. Yes, it's a very good point, Years. And the Edward Benet's books are literally about this. You know, about like manufacturing consent and changing how people like dream, and you know, they were very. Those early ones we watched were very Benesian, especially the General Motors one. And I'd be interested to know if he was involved in the production of that, because all I could think of was Edward Bernays. Jeremy Beadle 8 Bagpuss says, what are D's thoughts on... Now, can I just say, last time Jeremy Beadle 8 Bagpuss sent Super Chat in, he sent it from Australia, and now he's sending in Australian and Canadian dollars. So Jeremy Beadle 8 Bagpuss gets around based on the denomination he pays in. He says, what are Mr. D's thoughts on Georgian and Victorian pestle and mortars constructed from solid brass?
Well, I own I own quite a number of those, and I quite like them. But I have pestle and mortars dating back to I think my oldest one is from the 15th century. It's bronze. So yeah, I mean obviously the later ones would be more refined and more geared towards a certain utility. And they were often used commercially. And you can obviously distinguish between the domestic ones and the commercial ones. I have some very early wooden domestic ones, very different. But yeah, they're great.
Yes, the Eunuch says, my response to the bizarre Atomic Age future dream car advert, this could have been us, but you wanted mass migration and Keynesianism. So there we go.
Yeah. I can give you a bit of information about that film. I just looked it up.
Go on.
It was a 1956 industrial short produced to accompany the General Motors Motorama show that year. It features a woman danced by Tad Tadlock and voiced by Marjorie Gordon, who dreams about a masked man, danced by Mark Bro and sung by Joseph Lautner, taking her to the Motorama at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and Frigidaire's Kitchen of the Future. The film was produced and directed by Victor Solo, that's Solow, for MPO Productions, and features the voice of Phil Ravenscroft. I thought so. Phil Ravenscroft was an actor who is most well known to me because he voiced so many of those old Disney Disney films, and he was also the voice in a lot of the Disneyland attractions, like the Haunted Mansion and the Pirates of the Caribbean and all of that. If you've ever been to the old Disneyland, he is the voice of all those things, and you will recognize his voice. I'm surprised I didn't actually from that short. The original music was by Sol Kaplan. It was shot in 16mm and color, so it wasn't Technicolor. There you go. So no beignets, sadly.
He also Phil Ravenscroft. Just looking him up, he voiced Tony the Tiger for 5 decades.
No, he was Tony the Tiger.
It's great. Yeah,
it's great.
That was Phil Ravenscroft. He also was the voice behind Kellogg's Cornflakes. He was the voice of the classic. He was a vocalist on The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
You're a cruel one, Mr. Grinch. Yes, that's it. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Yeah, that's him.
He voiced Monstro the Whale in Pinocchio, Disney's Pinocchio.
Wow.
He was in the Disney Alice in Wonderland. Who did he play in that then? I'm having a look now.
I know.
I'm always fascinated by people who have a big impact in your life when you don't even realize it.
Well, remember when we did the deep dive on Ed Wynn, who was
he plays the uncle. He plays the voice of the Mad Hatter, and he plays the uncle in Mary Poppins, right?
Yeah.
So who did Phil Ravenscroft play in this one then?
And just quickly, the Ed Wynn is very interesting because his voice has been imitated. I mean, even today, you still hear people doing an Ed Wynn voice for things. Like, I remember when you did those McDonald's advert things, and you get to the sort of 70s McDonald land. I think it's the Mayor McCheese. Oh, well, we got to get a McDonald's hamburger, which is the Ed Wynn voice. Like, people now just do that voice, probably not even knowing that they're imitating him.
I've just realized that he wasn't a character in Alice in Wonderland, but you know at the start of Alice in Wonderland, there's that amazing kind of vocal arrangement by a kind of a cappella singing group, right? That group was called the Mellow Men, and I have always loved the Alice in Wonderland soundtrack for that those vocal harmonies, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's that low booming voice
that
comes in. That was him. So he was part of that group as well. He was part of the Mellow Men. They were a barbershop quartet. So it was fascinating. Really fascinating little find there. And yeah, you were right. He was in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and the Haunted Mansion as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they still. They may still use his voice. I don't know. Yeah, he was in a lot. He was in a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, 101 Dalmatian, Sleeping Beauty, Lady and the Tramp, Peter Pan. I mean, Alice in Wonderland, in many of the Dumbo, Pinocchio. Yeah, as you said. So.
Coney says, "Are you still going to make those hate videos on James?" No, I was just memeing about on Twitter. I didn't really mean it. I wasn't really going to make videos on him. Incorrigible Pomegranate says, "Hello, Mr. D. 'Tis I, the incorrigible pomegranate of the Dragon Chinaware Bowl. How many squiddly diddly avatars did you have? Did you say you have? Hundreds? I've only collected 64 so far. I must have more."
Who is this?
It's the incorrigible pomegranate of the Dragon Chinaware Bowl.
This is someone who listened to that Twitter space that I did the other night with Semigog, where at some point I revealed I had a giant fruit bowl, which is blue and white, a Chinese blue and white porcelain thing that had a dragon in it, who was the master of the fruit bowl. And I had a pomegranate which I left in that bowl for years, which turned into just like a dried ball with seeds in that you could use as a musical instrument. So someone is very interested in me.
The incorrigible pomegranate, a kind of a long lost contemporary of the Curious Orange. Remember that? Anyway, Coney says, I think it's a song by The Fall, The Curious Orange.
Oh, is it?
But it was also a character from a Lee and Herring show in the 90s.
Oh, Lee and Herring, of course.
Yeah. Well, they brought him out every week, The Curious Orange, and be like, "Oh, what are you curious about this week, Curious Orange?" And he'd have some obscure thing he was curious about. Anyway, Coney says it's nice listening to an educational video. I'm just now trying to imagine like it's actually the incorruptible pomegranate, not the incorrigible pomegranate.
So yes, yeah, he is referencing that pomegranate. That because Semigog remarked about me leaving the pomegranate there, and that it didn't rot, it just dried, and so we called it the incorruptible pomegranate.
The incorruptible, and of course, people are bringing up in the chat the ambivalent onion. We could have like a really shit kind of munch bunch. Coney says it's nice listening to an educational video narrated by properly educated accents, not some overly chippy and condescending northern voice or an over enthusiastic and over the top American one. I quite agree, Coney. Drongo says, "Wait, they never say how many oyster I should buy."
three pint. Was it 3 pints that he had? Yeah.
Yeah, he bought 3 pints of oysters, but that was too many.
3 pints.
So,
well, I mean, I was thinking about it because these would not be oysters in the shell. These would have been shucked oyster, or just the oyster. So that is a lot. But I can eat 2 or 3 dozen oysters in one, raw oysters in one go. So
do you know what I'm reminded of? Speaking of the Disney's Alice in Wonderland, that as we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
And now, oysters, dear, we can begin the feed. And then all the oysters go, feed. And then he eats all the oysters. And the carpenter's in the kitchen, making his soup and getting all his bread ready, and singing his song. And he comes in and he finds out the walrus has fucking eaten every single oyster. And then he chases the walrus with a hammer. So
very
If I was casting that, I would probably cast Panama Hat. He would make a very good walrus, I think. And maybe Columba is the carpenter.
He could be a carpenter.
I think the carpenter's kind of like. I think Columba and Hat as the walrus and the carpenter would be amazing. with the trucks playing the oysters.
all the little trucks in their little voices. Yeah. God's sake. Yes, Tuesday, every Tuesday. You're quite correct. By the way, before I forget about it, that film was used by Adam Curtis in the Pandora's Box series. He made extensive use of clips designed for dreaming, especially in the title sequence. That film was also used in Michael Moore's Capitalism: A Love Story. Pieces of it are watched by Michael Douglas during his physical in The Game, and it's also used in the opening titles of the 2004 Stepford Wives. It was in Peter Gabriel's 1987 single "In Your Eyes" in the video for it, in Rush's 1989 music video for Superconductor, a 1989 commercial for the Nintendo Game Boy game Super Mario Land, a 1994 commercial for the Power Macintosh, and during Nine Inch Nails concert performances. So that film gets around, that Design for Dreaming film.
Interesting. So obviously quite a well-known one.
A very very well known.
I mean, it is like a curiously high budget for a film like this.
It's curiously high budget, and it's also completely in the public domain. So
yeah, that's probably one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Makuta Pterodax. He is a blast from the past. I've seen him for a while. Makuta, he's almost an Edward Darragh style vintage of Patreon.
Yeah, I can remember Mrs. AA saying a Makuta Pterodax.
Yes, indeed. Along with Christopher Scholwalm and the Ambivalent Onion, who was also in the chat. You see, the Ambivalent Onion is in the chat. We can have like a reunion of like 2018, 2017 era Patreon backers.
Yeah, he's doing an Ed Balls by just saying his own name. Yeah.
Anyway, Makuta Pterodax says the Corvette advert, and I'm very grateful to those OG backers, by the way, who are still around. Talk about dedication. A lot of people are very fair weather in these spaces, but not Makuta Pterodax and the Ambivalent Onion.
It means so much. Oh, also, Makuta Pterodax, I believe, do you remember there was a period where he was trying to live off like a turnip for like a week?
No.
Yeah, when he was a student and he had this, like, I think it was him. Pardon me if it wasn't, but I believe I remember tales of him like trying to stretch his food budget so that he would just like live off like a potato and a turnip or something, which is of course ironic because someone in Parliament mentioned that people should buy turnips to secure secure themselves for the coming food shortages, of course, because we're now getting the UK is now getting rationing. And so someone said you should buy turnips, and so there's been a run on turnips, and apparently you can't get them now because they've all been bought up in panic.
Turnips have been bought, I see.
You can't even live on a turnip anymore. So,
anyway, Pterodax says the Corvette advert reminds me of the golden bull in the Ten Commandments. Just there's Moses to admonish them. Good point.
There's no Moses. There's no Moses there. Right.
Drongo says Sarah was a lesbian.
Huh?
Talking about Sarah from the
Sarah the Snob. Yeah.
I still want her to be the cover star. I like Sarah. I think she's the star of the stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that shot when the fellow calls her the Snob and she makes that face. That's a good one. Lesbian Daria. No, she wasn't a Daria.
She would have. I reckon she would have. If I had been there, she would have gone for me. Although worryingly, I do also think that she looked like genuinely. I think Sarah the lesbian looked like me when I was that age. So,
well, she did have there was a slight masculine overtone to her look.
Yeah, so the shape of her nose and the kind of hairstyle that she had,
the eyebrows, and the
eyebrows. I don't know. She kind of I don't know. She just reminded me of myself.
Yeah, you're a bit more like woolly haired, but
yeah, that's true.
Did you not have a 50s like hair? Did you not
Well,
do the
I
sculpted?
very briefly went to an old school barber and asked for a DA duck's ass.
Oh, the duck's ass, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like an old he was like an old teddy boy himself, you know. He had like Elvis stuff everywhere, and he was really into it, and he did it like properly, immaculately. And I got home, and my ex-wife just immediately messed it up. Immediately.
Oh.
So I had it for like the walk home, essentially.
And that's why she's your ex-wife.
So yeah,
to be fair, it takes a lot of work to maintain that hairstyle. I mean, I have a sort of 50s hairstyle which I've maintained for a long time. So I have my hair's a bit like Morrissey's, used to be. But yeah, doing full.
My hair is not. My hair is, to be clear, my hair is not woolly in that kind of. It's not like black man hair, you know. It's just
no. It's
But I do have curly hair though. My hair is curly, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, of course it is.
Yeah. Which is odd because many of my family members, including on my dad's side, don't have curly hair. But yes, I do. For the reason I'm not sure.
You're the black sheep. You're the black sheep.
Horowitz, Feinberg, and Horwitz says $25 for the Marvel stream. There we go. One of the highest earning back catalogue streams of all time. Tuesday, FA Tuesday says, AA, when are you going to have a stream about climate change? It seems the Earth's climate has been badly destabilized, especially in the last 7 years.
It hasn't.
What are you talking about?
I mean, this is the thing, younger people have really been, a lot of them have been successfully propagandized to feel like changes in the weather are like cataclysmic climactic changes, which most of them aren't. I mean, yes, of course, the Earth has climactic shifts, and it has for all of time, but it's not climate change TM,
I bought a book by a communist, a Marxist, called Green Capitalism, because I thought it was interesting that a commie had written a book kind of exposing the money behind like Big Green or whatever they call it. I think actually Michael Moore, of all people, made a documentary on this as well, on the kind of climate grift, and the money behind it and so on. So if I do anything on it, it will be me reviewing that book. However, when I came to read it, I hadn't read a Marxist, I forgot just how stupid and retarded Marxists are as well. So
you gotta get reminded of that.
It could be like a kind of double thing where I'm like, oh, good point, Marxist, but also stupid point, stupid point, stupid point, stupid point, etc. Yeah.
Well, this is the problem, they could, with just a few shifts, they could be based, but they're not. They're just fucking stupid.
Apparently, I've got shorts that are coming out during the stream. How and why is that happening?
Didn't you set them up? Didn't you set them up to come out? Maybe Timmy is just like releasing them for you.
No, I can see them here. They're all scheduled.
Yeah.
They're not coming out during the stream. I can see them here, scheduled February the 28th, March the 1st, March the 2nd, March the 3rd.
Don't make it more short.
9 a.m. every day for the next like 40 days or something. Short. I recorded them all in one day, and I might as well just bring them out at this point. So
yeah.
But that is fake news.
Fake news.
It must be a different one that came out. The one from this morning came out this morning. So that is fake news. All right. No, Ashes of Civilization did not just drop. It came out this morning at 9 a.m. You're just getting it now in your feed. People probably it's just triggered some notification or something. But it came out this morning. All right, let's get out of here. D. We'll be back to. What should we do tomorrow night on Unpopular Opinions? I wonder.
Oh, that's even more difficult. Well, I mean, what has happened? Has anything happened?
I might talk about the putting the woke away, because there's been quite a lot of weird, huge. I mean, Scott Adams is a story we could talk about.
Oh yeah, the Scott Adams story.
Elon Musk like backing Scott Adams up, and even the net negative coming out with kind of, you know,
hello, fellow white people. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, So I feel like, even though that seems like a meme story, I feel like we should probably talk about that, because there are significant signals, I would say, that some of the woke is being put away. If you look at that. Other than that, I will have a look at the news, and we'll and we have to figure out who's going to come on the panel. I seem to remember that DOA had booked itself. And was it DOA and Guard? It's kind of random partnership, but
okay.
I don't know. I need to double check, but I remember I was trying to set up a panel last week, and
so we'll have obnoxious British giggling and obnoxious Australian
giggling,
belly laughing.
Yeah. Okay, so, but I need to double check that. That. All right.
Can't we just play trivia game? Can't we do that? Can't we return?
Oh, we could do a bit of that, but we need to talk about some topics as well. I think the Scott Adams. I do think the Scott Adams one is worth it. And we'll have a look at what else is going on as well. All right. Cheers, everybody. Join us again. Remember to buy my courses, of course. I'll also mention, Who Would You Do, fans, that the tournament starts tomorrow too. The Who Would You Do parade will be taking place tomorrow night, and then the first round should probably be up sometime after Unpopular Opinions, because it's the 1st of March it starts, which is basically midnight tomorrow night. So
when do I get to nominate new women?
After the if you want to nominate after the tournament ends, there's a window of about a day or so, and you have to get in your nominations then.
Okay.
Because I'm a friend, I'll nudge you.
Yeah, nudge me.
I'll send you get your nominations in now.
I've got a whole list of women that will lose immediately because of the homosexual youth.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Maybe you shouldn't be living here. Get out.